Hi, good morning, America. Welcome to all of you who are here in our Zoom room with us. Um, Today's a weird day. Okay, there are two things. First of all, I need to show you my dress. That's the first thing because this looks like kind of a normal outfit, but don't worry, I didn't let you down. Isn't this cool? Okay.
So cool.
Secondly, second of all, today's a weird mentally for me. It's a weird day. What my husband and I are calling this the hard year because I'm a full-time master's student. We also have a 1-year-old baby. The business, Good Morgan Therapy, now named Scene Relationship Institute, is expanding very quickly. So we have content. We have a Facebook group that we're feeding into. We're taking care of different levels of group coaching. Like one is small group, one is large group. I've got private clients that I work with. We're leading multiple teams. It's a lot. And the point of that is that I am so in love with everything that I'm doing that I just keep doing more and I want to do it all well. And so my days are really full and I've been fighting burnout this week and exhaustion. And I hit the point that now my brain has just decided everything I say is worthless and I'm dumb. And I don't really say I'm dumb. What is it that I say? It just doesn't feel valuable. I just don't feel valuable. I feel like saying anything is not helpful to anyone. And from a parts work perspective, I think it's a part of me that just it's last ditch effort to get me to to stop doing so much, and it's really just begging me to rest. And if I stop believing in myself for a while, maybe I'll stop pushing so hard. That's what I think it is. Um, so that's the energy I'm in right now. And just saying it makes me less in that energy because I was real. Yeah. Anyway, I also do literally have on my thing, I could show, oh, I can't turn my camera. I have a sign here that says, I don't know the answers and I'm not supposed to. My job is to see what I get the honor of seeing. And then a note over here that says, true humility is not self deprecation. It is knowing that you have nothing to prove. There is always more to learn, and that no great thing is done alone. And those reminders are really helpful for me today. So, with that, we're doing no theme today because I can't handle it. Well, I guess I don't know why Addie chose that, but as I was thankful that Addie chose that because I can't handle the pressure of a theme today. I'm crumbling, and we were gonna do trauma, and I was like, I can't, I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm really glad that I didn't even have to say that, and Addie just changed it, and yeah. So thank you for being here. And you guys are always so human with me. And I'm really grateful that I feel like I can be human with you too. So, okay, here we go. Q&A. While I drink my coffee and yellow my teeth.
Okay. So
Ryan. Ryan liked that one.
our first question is, what do you think the difference is between being triggered and being offended by someone or something? Is being offended just a type of response? Can a person learn how to not take things so personally?
I think being taking things personally is being triggered, right? I mean, what's the difference between being triggered and being offended? I think being offended is a lighter form of being triggered. Because if you say trigger, now we're in a semantics discussion, but you're perceiving something. A trigger is aptly named because it's a small thing that causes a big reaction. That's why it's called a trigger. It's like you step on a trigger and you let off a bomb. You pull a trigger and you shoot a gun. That's the whole trigger thing. I shouldn't have said the words shoot a gun because now YouTube's going to do something to this video that I started within the first 5 minutes of saying that. Whatever. Trigger is aptly named because it's something small that you make a big, that causes a big reaction in you. And being offended is sometimes not a big reaction, but often it is. And taking things personally is kind of being triggered. It's thinking that what the other person is saying is your fault or your responsibility or you should do something about it. And so you get offended. And sometimes getting offended is a blessing because it causes you to be like, I need to do something about that. And you should. And other times getting offended is a way to feel safe or feel a sense of control. And when you take things personally, like, and I don't mean that as you're controlling or trying to be controlling. I mean your brain and nervous system are looking for safety and control and choice. And when somebody offends you, you getting angry is a way to take back the control they just took over the narrative. I think that's usually what happens. Does that make sense? Because I could say it a different way.
It does make sense. I know a lot of, we've had clients in the past who ask, what is the difference between a trigger and a really valid reaction to something that someone else is doing? Like, he's not doing the dishes. I'm not triggered that he's not doing the dishes. He just needs to do the freaking dishes. I know that
Uh,
that comes up a lot.
yeah. That's still, yeah, it's the balance of how do you accept the person and reject the behavior? How do you set a boundary? That's why boundaries, the formula for boundaries is I'm feeling this, and here's what I'm going to do to care for that feeling. And sometimes that involves the other person. I'm not going to be the only one who does the dishes. It makes me resent you. Then you start to have a conversation about, okay, are we on the same team? This is what I call, I'm fully getting demonetized in this. This is what we call a dick talk. I said guns and dicks. What are we gonna do? It's what we call a dick talk because you can't forget it. But when the doing the dishes thing, like, well, yeah, okay, great. I'm no longer offended, but the problem is still here. When you want to tackle a problem with your partner or anybody, I call it a dick talk. Dream invitation collaboration. Shout out to Emma for realizing if we swapped the first word with dream, it could be called dick. And shout out to Ryan for making it into dick talk instead of dick conversation because obviously that sounds so much better. Um, Dream invitation collaboration. So that means, hey, I don't want to resent you. And I do when I'm the only one who does the dishes. So I love to work as a team on how to solve this. How do we work together? Not true. And if you truly freaking mean that. So first is the dream. I would love for us to be more collaborative and feel more like a team. I want to feel more like a team when it comes to household stuff, especially the dishes. Is that something you want? Do you want to feel like you're on the team of household stuff? If you get a no, that's a different angle that you got to go. Now we start to figure out boundaries and is this relationship a good fit? And that's a different path. If the answer is yes, then okay, now we start to collaborate. So the dream is I want to feel like partners. When I ask you, do you want to do that too? If they say yes, that's the invitation. Dream invitation. Here's my dream. Do you like that dream too? That's the invitation. DI. And then C, DIC is collaboration. How do you think we get there? I don't, if I can't start, and I have found this to be true for all of my clients too, but if I can't start the conversation with curiosity about how they think we can get there, about what they think the obstacles are, then I don't actually want them to collaborate. I want them to be my good little employee. And that's not going to feel like a partnership to me or them. If I can't start the conversation with, here's my dream. Is that your dream too? And then how do you think we get there? If I can't start it with actually wanting to know their thoughts about what the obstacles are, I'm not trying to collaborate. I'm trying to control. I'm trying to get them to be my good little employee and then wondering why I don't have any respect for them. People don't like it because they're like, but I've been thinking about this problem forever and I just want to tell them what to do. Yeah, that's what you've been doing though. And it doesn't work. And often what happens and what's really humbling and hard is that if you say, what do you think is getting in the way, their response will be, well, every time I try to help, you get mad at me. Well, every time that I do this, you criticize me. They will say things that you are part of the obstacles. Yeah, it takes two to tango. It takes two to create a dynamic. It takes two There's often an enabler when something bad is happening. And if you can't own that you're part of it, not all of it, part of it, how do you expect them to own that they're part of it? And if you do get them to own that they're part of it, but you don't own that you're part of it, now you've just got a victim villain narrative where they're the bad guy who can never do anything right. And so, of course, they're going to walk around on eggshells all the time around you and not trust you. And of course, you're going to spend all day looking for how they're going to let you down. And you're both going to wonder, why is this never working? If you can't start a conversation, especially a hard one, with curiosity, you're not going to end up being collaborative. You're going to end up being enemies and wondering why. Am I extra spicy today with this tiredness? Okay. I hope that was helpful. It was also nice that it was neutral and I could just be direct because it was nobody that I was like yelling at. Whoa, 56 new chats. I'm not reading that. Okay. That's phenomenal. Thanks for the fire emojis, though, Ryan. I caught that one. I wish that Addie's camera was being streamed right now because I'm watching you get frustrated and like, throw your arms at the tech. Also, your outfit is fire today and no one can see that. Sad.
Thank you. Um, yeah, everything is pissing me right off. Um, oh my God, I got out of that one. Okay,
Because you always
so
do some kind of
always,
English accent
and
when you're
everything is
frustrated.
especially pissing me off right now. That's all right. Our next question is from Charity. Charity
Charity.
is here. And is this
Hi.
okay for me to pull you up now?
You look like you're
Yes.
at work.
Okay.
You got a
Yeah, you
lanyard on.
Charity's question
I had to
was,
guess
how
at the
can I
time.
forgive infidelity that happened 20 years into our marriage? He's actively trying, but I never have the nerve to bring up my feelings.
Oh my God, there's so many details I don't have about this. How many years into, how can you bring it up? How many,
Well,
like the
the
deep that
first,
yeah. When did, how long ago did this happen?
actually a year at this point. We're almost at the year anniversary of it, so
Got it.
everything's really kind of bubbling up for me.
Hmm.
I mean, the first 15 years we were both drinking and drugging, so it was a whirlwind anyway. And then
Hmm.
we both got sober, and then I finally got a support system. He's jealous of my best friend because he wasn't the one that got me sober. The whole thing. But
Okay. Wow.
but
So
then
many things
it
I want to
was
know.
him it was he's known her for years too, so it's also hard for me to believe it was only the one time.
Hmm.
And I don't know, and we can literally talk about absolutely anything except for our relationship. And I don't have the nerve to bring it up, my feelings or anything.
Hmm.
And I've at least broken through some of the anxiety when we're like watching TV and something comes up and things like that.
Hmm.
But I mean, he's a definite guy. He makes the dirty jokes and all of that stuff in TV shows, and
Hmm.
it is what it is. But he he does adore me, and I would melt the world for him. But it's the matter of it happened when I was finally in my sober journey and doing the steps, and I had my support system, and it almost felt like a punishment for being
Hmm.
selfish.
Hmm.
So
What do you mean?
because I was finally feeling like I was finally doing something for
Yeah.
me. And I was still taking everyone else in consideration, putting them first, but I still had my me stuff
Yeah.
for the first time ever.
Hmm.
And he knew that was the one thing that would tear me apart. I became a
Hmm.
person I did not recognize when I found out. And to be honest, you kind of look like her.
Oh. Ugh. Sorry. If I could
But
shapeshift, I would do it right now.
all right. But other than it's just trying to bring up my feelings and try to talk about us is the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah,
And the whole year anniversary thing and what we were arguing about this time last year and him saying it, well, he did it to hurt me. He did it on purpose, this, and that.
he did
And
say that.
he did say that. But then when I told him I needed to hear it wasn't my fault, it had nothing to do with me, he said, well, I never said it was. I'm like, I promise, it's embedded in here. I
Yeah.
know what you said. So I need to hear the remorse or feel the remorse without having to tell him without what I've already said I need.
Mhm. Your, what have you got? I'm picking up pieces of the conversations you have had. A lot of them sound painful and not like they were, it's not like you were sitting in a therapist's office trying to repair. It was like full out say the thing that hurts the most conversations.
That's
And
what it always turns into. That's why I'm so afraid. We have gone to a couples therapist a few times, but he's the one of why can't we just talk? Why do I need somebody else to tell me what to do when I can just read a book or we can just talk about it? I'm like, but we can't just talk about it. It's
mhm.
always, well, you did this and I did that, and we get defensive immediately. There's no just talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Come on,
Okay.
blotchy.
I mean, the thing that people who haven't been through this or talked to, like, really paid attention to people who have been through this, the thing that people don't get is the first thing you were saying of he, how did you say it? You said he loves you, but in a really great way. You said he,
Oh, he does adore me. Yes.
adores, yes, he adores you and you would
Mhm.
melt the world for him. There, that's such a huge piece of this because there is so much history, love, knowledge of each other. You've witnessed each other through so many phases that the stakes of losing that comes up when you think about the conversation too. Because if you have the conversation so opposite of what you just described your love to be, the bad conversations are so bad that I'm is that normally like if you have a conflict that you want to bring up is you said that's what always happens, did you mean that's what always happens around just this topic or around every conflict topic?
Just this topic, literally.
Okay.
We can have a healthy debate about literally anything, but
Okay.
not about us.
Yeah. Okay, so he's got a lot of shame about it then probably because
I
where there
hope so.
where there is blame there is shame. So when we're really ashamed of something that we've done but not when we're so ashamed of something that we've done that we don't want to see ourselves as somebody who could have done it, what we spend the entire conversation and all of our thoughts doing is figuring out how it isn't our fault. And that's what it sounds like those conversations turn into. And the irony of how you actually get to have the kind of healthy debates you have around everything else is that he primarily because it's internal work for him has to remove the shame of this. The shame of cheating on somebody is the thing that gets in the way of repairing the healing because you don't want to be the kind of person who would cheat. So then you do gymnastics in your head about how it wasn't your fault. You would never choose that. You did it because they deserved it. You in your head, you're like, I can't be that bad of a person, so I have to find a way that it's not my fault. And then that comes out at your partner, and your partner's like, what the hell? How is this getting turned around on me? And it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with him having so much shame about this. He'd rather blame you than face what it might mean that he made that decision not not because of you. Even if you had an impact on him, that's still his choice.
Right.
And that is where that is the thing that actually needs a third party, probably, is the removal of shame. So that because the only thing I've seen work to heal the biggest issues, especially infidelity, is being able to look into your partner's eyes and see the pain you caused. And the only way you can do that is if you don't drown in shame when you see it. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It means I did a bad thing and I never want to hurt you that way again. If you can't do that, you won't be able to repair and you won't be able to witness the pain because you'll get mad at it. You'll be like, if I'm him and I saw the pain in your eyes, I would say, without, none of this is conscious, but what you end up doing is go, you shouldn't be in pain. I don't deserve to feel your pain. It's too much for me to bear. You shouldn't be this hurt. And here's why. Because if you're that hurt, then that makes me bad and I can't be bad. Why would you be with me then? The irony is I'm trying to prove that I'm worthy of your love by not seeing how much pain I caused you. So
Okay.
that's not really answering your question. I'm just letting you know what he's doing. It's just such a shitty place to be in for a whole year. You had so much pain. It wrecked you. There's depth there. There's belief in you too. Like you've got so much to discuss around this and to see and witness in each other. And I've seen it draw people together because of the shame that has to get removed in order to do it. You start to show parts of yourself you haven't even seen, they haven't seen. And I've seen couples grow stronger because of it. And if you avoid it, it cracks you. It cracks it's just every day it chips away because it's still haunting. And it's this ghost in your relationship that just haunts your relationship. And yeah, I see you nodding, I think.
It's very true.
What's coming up for you? Because I feel like I just ranted and I
No, I mean, you put some more clarity from his point of view for me. It's it helps me try to approach it with continuing with the couples therapy. I finally got him to go to his own therapy too.
wow.
So that I'm hoping that's partially of why he's gotten better and catching his old ways and apologizing immediately after and
Hmm.
all of that. He used to be very, very narcissistic. Very.
Hmm.
And it was a lot of resentment of him having to deal with me and all my drinking years. And then I'm like, well, what about all your drugging years of what I put up with?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of resentment against each other for a lot of things, but we still went through it together. We've
Yeah.
still seen each other at each other's worst and still hear and still talk about future. So,
Mm.
but because of he's always right, it's harder for me to try to bring up my feelings. And that's another thing is because of the just before all this happened that year, I was finally trying to open up about feelings and
Hmm.
I got shot down more often and then this happened. So it's also I'm conditioned into feelings aren't a part of this. We're just a superficial roommates that make love.
Hmm. When you said what I heard, there's a really cool line, and my brain's a little slow today, so I'm hoping I can remember it right. We commit to people, or we connect to people at the level of healed that we are. And if you
Mm,
start to heal, it feels to them like you are leaving them. And it you start to have a higher standard for connection. If you can know your feelings and state them, that's a whole nother level of connection. And I'm hearing a conflict within you of the journey of healing that you're having and acknowledging your feelings and daring to believe those feelings matter and they make a difference. And when you do that, it hurts the relationship
Yeah.
because the
That's a part of
relationship,
my sober journey when I finally started feeling.
yeah,
And when I try to identify them, I can't really talk through them with him because I can't. So, and I would love to be able to continue learning them with him, but I have to shut down when I'm around him. So
mm,
it's a lack of, it's like a wall of my healing because it's a big part of my life where I can't try, except for when I'm at group or step study class or my best friends or whatever. But when I'm around him, the majority of my time,
yeah.
I have to just be.
Have you said that to him?
No, no,
Because what are you afraid would happen if you did?
because he would then just say, well, I'm not stopping you. But he would come back with a, well, because of this and that and this and that and blame game. It just turns eventually into defensiveness instead of me just saying, I feel this way. He's taking it as an attack. Like
Yeah,
it's, that's what I gather,
which makes
which is
sense.
why he, yeah.
I ask you because sometimes vocalizing boundaries is scary. Like, let me say that differently. Sometimes it's almost always scary. Um, it's dangerous. And I wanted to check if that would be dangerous because there's an
Oh,
there's an option of saying this is the journey I'm on and I'm afraid it's taking and I have to be on it. To save my own life and to honor the fact that I have a life, I have to keep on this journey. And it scares the shit out of me because it means I'm walking this way and I don't see you walking with me. And that's scary. And what I just heard, you said it so beautifully and you said it non-attacking and you said it non-defensive and you said it non-blaming and and you essentially are saying I have to know my feelings and be able to speak them and care for them in order to have a good life and a good relationship. That means if you don't, I don't know how our relationship continues and I want it to. Those were not your exact words. That's the way that I took your words and then put them into an invitation. So it's not quite a boundary, it's an invitation. And I could see from what you're saying that he takes that as an attack and then gets defensive. And that's hard. Because in a dream world where I can wave a magic wand, suddenly I send a protective shield around you. You say that, and then whatever he says just doesn't get through the barrier. And you go, okay, that's okay. I told you the truth. And I'm going to keep on this journey. And I hope it doesn't include grieving our relationship. And I also get that that's really freaking hard to say. And yeah, so it's hard to navigate how you handle that because, yeah, oof. Because on one hand, you're already blindsiding him with your progress.
right.
So it's like, but if you let him know and you update him, now he's got the chance to just verbally take a swing at what you're doing, and that isn't helpful either.
I'm very codependent and
You
we're
are.
definitely trauma bonded. We both are. It's very so intertwined, so a part of each other that that's another reason why I need this healing journey is to find the me in the us.
And I
He
don't,
has the me in the us. I don't.
yes. And I don't think it sounds like, I mean, it doesn't sound like finding, it doesn't sound, you can't state the sentence that I just said of, I need to know my feelings and I'm on this journey. And I hope that journey doesn't include grieving our relationship. I want you to come with me. Saying something like that You can't say that until you find the me. It's like almost impossible because you're so hyper attuned to their feelings. So you start to try to say it and then you stumble and then you don't say it. Really, you just say a bunch of other stuff and then you're like, "What are we even talking about?" And you get so far off the train that yeah, there's a reason. So I do a thing called a group coaching program called the Repair Lab, Relationship Repair Lab, and I make everybody practices the conversation skills with total strangers. They don't do the stuff with their partner because you've got all the baggage and the codependence with your partner, and you got to practice it with a stranger first. And why I'm saying that is you can do that in your life too. One of the things to start practicing, which it sounds like you might already be doing this, is saying statements to other people in your life that you don't have codependency with. I do this with baristas. My husband thinks it's really funny. He's like, they don't need to know. And I'm like, but whatever. Um, but I'm like, I'm feeling this, and here's what I'm going to do to care for that feeling as many times a day as possible. Strengthens that muscle. So by the time you end up being like, okay, I'm going to actually say something to him, it's not trying to lift a car out of nowhere. You've strengthened your muscles forever, and now it's a breeze. So
Right.
this is the I just gave this homework to everybody. So if that you're not asking for homework, but if anybody in here is
I'll
on,
take it.
if anyone in here is on the same journey, or if you want to do this, if you use an iPhone or you use Google Notes, some kind of notes app that you're always in, make a note. And at the top, we'll put it in the chat too, but at the top, right, I'm feeling line, like underline. And then here's what I'm going to do to care for that feeling, colon. And then you just copy and paste that a million times down the page. And every moment that you can during the day, you just fill that in and you just practice. And it starts to prove it's so simple, but it proves to your nervous system, oh, my feeling matters. And I know what it is. And I care for it. I don't need anybody's permission to care for it. I care for it. It's what shifts you from a person who says, "Oh my God, why is it so loud in here? Why is everyone so annoying?" to I'm feeling overstimulated. I'm going to step out for a few minutes. It changes you from the mom who goes, why are you screaming? We do not stop it. You are really annoying me. To the mom that goes, "Oh, I'm overstimulated. I'm going to be out in the hall for 2 minutes. I'll be right back." It's like
Yeah.
it changes you into the partner who goes, "Oh, I just got really heated. I was about to tell you you were an asshole. I need to take a minute to remember we're on the same team." Doing this exercise seems so simple, but it starts to prove to your brain, I don't have to wait for somebody's permission to care for myself.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have to wait for somebody's permission to think my feeling actually matters. It's so simple, but there's a reason that I love it so much. So in a dream world, I could wave a magic wand and you'd feel super safe saying exactly the honest conversation with him. And then if he doesn't come with you, you just keep walking away and eventually you're not together. Or he joins you and he starts learning and you guys have the best relationship you've ever had. Either way,
Right.
you get to be healthy and you get to feel loved and you get to feel life. You get to live life. If I could wave a magic wand to make that happen, I would. But I can't. And you're already on the journey on your own. And if you want to use a trick to like process and practice, that's my favorite one.
That's cool. I accept. I
Will
accept.
you
I'll add
try
it to my daily journal.
will you try it for a week and then tell us how it goes? Oh wait, I'm at a
Yeah.
conference next week, so it'll be two
Oh,
weeks from
okay.
now. But please come 2 weeks from now and tell me how it goes.
Okay.
I
I
so
can do
mean
that.
that. We will make a note and
Yeah.
we will check in on you and see how it went. I want
Okay.
to know what you felt. I want to know what you did for the feelings.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. That'll be intense. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Charity, you
Thank
are
you.
amazing. I feel so much love for you. You're so vulnerable. You're so non-blaming and curious. And oh, God, I don't even know how to explain how much. I bet you get this all the time. There's just such a gorgeous heart energy that comes from you. And I'm really grateful that you shared it with me. It was
Thank
so
you.
good to meet you. I would hug you so big
Thank you
if we
so
were in
much.
the same space right now. Who else loves charity?
I know. Well, now I gotta go back to work.
Okay. Well, have
I
fun.
appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Charity. Oh, what an angel. God, obsessed. I don't know how to
That was
describe how
beautiful.
beautiful, like, wow.
All right. Our next question is from Jose.
Jose. Jose, hello. Look at that
Jose
perfect facial hair. Holy crap.
for real. In short
Hello.
asked, actually, Jose, do you want to ask your question? I can copy it. I can copy the short version and put it into the chat.
Sure, yeah. I just had a question today in regards to how can I show growth to somebody that I used to date. Um oh, thank you, Ryan. Well, I'm just here today because I'm kind of going through a mental health journey, a personal journey as well too. I I recently came out of a relationship that lasted about 6 months. And ultimately, I was the problem. So, a part of this is also realizing and kind of like taking life by the horns and trying to manage what I now found out to be my current diagnosis. So, I actually found out that I had some borderline issues. So,
Okay.
uh,
Goodness.
currently, I'm alone now, and I there's a lot of things that I've been studying through what's known as dialectical behavioral therapy. So
Yeah.
I'm doing DBT, trying to reevaluate how I showed up in my relationship and not just my relationship, but also my friendships too. And I've also made a point to say that my remaining feelings, how I still feel for my my ex-partner, and my therapy are separate things. So regardless of the outcome of what the future looks like, I just want to know how do I really show this change over time? It's just very perplexing because I'm still going through the motions of the breakup. And I still love this person very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just been difficult.
I got so wrapped up in you. I should have focused on your question, but I was listening to everything else you said. I love that you have borderline. It's great news. It's one of the most healable because everything in a DSM-5 is just is a list of symptoms that if you check off enough, then you're or DSM-4TR. I should know this. I studied this, but whatever. I think it's 4TR now. Anyway, the everything that's in that list, uh you a lot of those symptoms in borderline are very, very healable. It's one of the highest rates of recovery. Do you already know this?
Not specifically that part, no.
Did you Dr. K, who I absolutely love. Do you know who Dr. K is? Healthy gamer.
Yes, actually, yeah.
He has one on.
Healthygamer.gg.
Yes. He has an incredible talk on borderline that I
Okay.
highly recommend, especially if you have it. It's going to give you so much hope. It's so great. And also, I love, oh God, the symptoms that come with borderline. It's basically like your heart's too big and you're too into people, and then I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that, but it's like it inflated, and it is a bit that, and then you become like the anxious attached on steroids. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, admittedly.
yeah.
I see like like the blessings of it and also, the things that kind of need to be handled a little bit more, managed a bit more.
Yes. And if you have
Yeah.
increased awareness and you heal the symptoms that pull you into borderline, you're such a good partner. Um, because there is yeah, it's so exciting. I'm so excited for your journey. And also aware of how it's very hard. It's a very hard diagnosis to accept. So I'm really impressed by you accepting it because it's very scary to realize how you made people feel that you loved so much and see yourself in that way. It's scary and hard to like, it's hard to brace in your and embrace in your brain. So it's just really cool that you're able to say, "Hey, I got diagnosed with this and I'm working through it." That's
Yeah.
leagues beyond most people who probably should have the diagnosis and can't do it. They can't do it. So, God, I'm so excited for you. What was your question? How do I prove that I'm on a mental health journey?
Well, I guess to show that my change is genuine. It just kind of sucks because I never meant my partner to be the collateral from my poor decision making,
Oh,
and
yes,
I don't
yes.
I absolutely do not want to use this as a crutch to say, oh, BPD, that's the reason why I'm, in a deficit. But no, I don't want it to be like that. I mean, it's an explanation, but
Yeah, but I wouldn't
I
call BPD genetic. I would say you're genetically wired to attune to and be hyper relational, and then your childhood took that genetics and taught you to turn that into the belief that you need to control the person you're with.
yeah,
So you can't really use it as an excuse. It's more like, until I heal this, I probably shouldn't be in a relationship. It's kind of like an
yeah.
addict. Like the first year of recovery, you shouldn't date somebody. It's very similar.
Yeah. I had problems with essentially fear of rejection, fear of abandonment.
Hmm.
There was just some things like there was an initial difference in values, right? They had their boundaries, and I had my way of living. And I over the years I've made many friendships, many good connections with people.
Hmm.
I've even been very good at keeping platonic relationships with previous partners. You know, people that I've had history with, but we decided, hey, it didn't work out. Let's be good friends.
Hmm.
And then I came to realize that when I met this person, the person that I was referring to, they still are probably the best person that I've ever been with in my life.
Hmm.
Um, and I come to realize that I needed to mature. You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything that you want. So, but because of that, I
Hmm.
thought I could change my partner. I thought that I could let them be okay with somebody that I was still friends with in that regard. Even though there's nothing left in that last life. Um,
Hmm.
and there's times where also like because I was afraid of just losing this person so much, it just drove me to overcompensate or to try to be like a Mr. Fix It when the solution was just plain and simple, just simple respect and boundaries.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, now I'm doing DBT, so I'm trying
Nice.
to grow and manage that. I just want to be somebody that can be safe and secure and can respect somebody for, what they're worth, and even more than that.
Yeah. You're on
Yeah.
the path. You're on the path. I would say you know you've made it when you're no longer trying to prove it. You know
So
what I mean?
just walking it essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. When you get to the place that you're like, I don't need them to know how far I've come on my mental health journey.
Yeah.
You will have, that's a pretty great marker for how far you've come on your mental health journey. Because that's still the perspective. That's still your brain being like, how can I get them to love me? How can I get them to see me? How can I get them to not reject me? That's still, and it's not restricted to the diagnosis. That's like everybody in a breakup. I broke up with someone who was a little more married than he said he was. And I really thought it's coming though. Like it's going to be great eventually. And I wrote this letter that was so long that was like, even if I'm married, you should come and get me because I know we're in game. And I decided not to mail that letter, thank God. Um but I wrote it and I had it for a minute and then I was dating Dan, my now husband, and after a very short time being with Dan, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I thought that other guy was endgame." And I went and tore up that letter and was so glad that I didn't send it. That's a natural, very real, very common sensation after a breakup. Like all of the potential that it could have been is still there. And the thing you're mourning and grieving is not the relationship you had, it's the relationship you were hoping that relationship would become. And it's not the person you were with, it's the person you were hoping that they would become and the person you hope you would become with them. And
Yeah.
that's a valid thing to mourn because that's every relationship. We're growing together, we're changing together. We're not perfect. So I think it's really, really natural that you're like, how do I let her know that this is real? I'm actually doing work on this and and I would say,
Yeah.
don't let her know. Don't. That's what I would say. But
Yeah.
don't, but you probably won't listen to me.
It's
You'll
it's
probably,
so hard. Like it's really hard because it
you're
was a
just gonna
very
do some
intense.
strategic Instagram stories. I'm
Oh
at
God,
therapy.
that's so embarrassing.
How do I know
Um,
that? Because we all been there, man.
yeah. We got a little too excited. I just have a lot of emotions, and honestly, I really was the problem. Like, it's just the hardest thing. Like, I've come to realize that when when somebody doesn't feel safe, you feel it in your nervous system, right? And
Yeah.
then when one thing happens and it's not resolved, and it snowballs into other issues because then trust becomes in the picture, and then
Yeah.
uncertainty or anxiety.
Yeah.
And it pains me, like, knowing that they held so much and they put
Yeah.
up a face, and it really does suck, but not because I feel. It's more like I feel what she feels. um
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But I lost my point. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I don't know. Whatever. It's great. I love it when you talk. Yeah, man. Yeah. You were saying. I think that sounds like you were responding to the grieving the person they could have been and the relationship that could have been, and you were like, well, also who I could have been, is what it seems like you were doing. Like
Yeah,
you're not happy with who you were, and you'd love like another swing at it being a more healed version.
correct. Yeah, I don't want to be somebody that bleeds their open wounds onto others, and that's also a big part of this too. Like, where I say that my therapy is separate from my feelings from her, and whether the future
Mm,
holds something again or not, whatever the case may be, I just want to be ready by the time, if and when it comes, or if it doesn't come. Um,
yeah.
because a part of it too is also how I showed up in the relationship, and they tried, and I just needed to follow through. It's a funny thing when you get so caught up in, like, your head about things. Like,
Yeah.
um, I come to realize that BPD is like a spectrum where, like, you have like this really awesome inflated stuff. Oh, I'm the man. I did a great thing, right? I should be awesome. I think I'm doing something great. And you go all the way to the opposite end where, like, you really bring yourself down, or it's like deprecating, and you're like, oh, well, I might as well be this horrible person because, I didn't do something right. And
Yeah.
it's not because they're not, they're not, they're not communicating as an attack. It's more so of like,
Yeah.
because they're trying to communicate, and it's the way that you take it, really.
I mean, you're taking everything personally. Like you are the biggest factor in the outcome all the time. You're the biggest factor in their mood. You're the biggest factor in if they're upset. You're the biggest factor if they're happy. You're a biggest factor if there's a problem. And then because it's this constant sense of blame and responsibility, you're either like, hell yeah, or you're like, oh God, or you're like, I'm so sick of being the one to blame, or even if they've never blamed you, it's just like in your head that when it does seem like it might be you, you get incredibly defensive and you're like, but you
Yeah,
deserved it, or you did it, or because you're in the blame framework. Like so much of what I teach when I work with couples, and then when I do group coaching, and when I train when I train other coaches, is get out of the blame framework and replace it with a compassionate curiosity framework. No
yeah,
more blame. It's make it neutral. It doesn't matter. Blame is irrelevant, especially when it's obvious who is to blame, because that's where you get to heal the most, which is a whole nother tangent, and I'm sure I'll get into it, but I don't know if it's useful for me to dive into that or not. But but blame gets us caught in it's either me or you, and it keeps you in victim villain, versus the compassionate curiosity framework is what you're talking about of this thing happened. We neither of us want this thing to happen again. Maybe it's a choice I made, maybe it's a choice you made, maybe it's both of our choices. I don't know. Let me understand how it impacted you and what your intention was in the moment. Let me understand, and then you're understanding me and what the intention was in the moment. It's like the compassionate curiosity lets you figure it out. You get to choose how to do it next time if you're curious about both sides. This is so abstract. I feel like I should have just gone into my tangent. Anyway, I like what you said.
Yeah, I want to be a guy that follows through on his promises. Even to the small things, right? Even communication.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like you said, like I don't want to be caught in that sort of like cycle per se. I just want to be the person that makes that difference, you know? Especially since
Yeah.
it was a very strong relationship. It was very passionate, and yet,
Mm.
it's just, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry you
it's just been a
lost
lot.
it.
And I still really miss this person a lot. And I mean, yeah, it's
Ugh,
hard.
it's hard. Dude, breakups suck.
Yeah, and she did the right thing though. She was the one who broke up with me, and I don't blame her. You know, we
That's a
had
good
our
step.
jobs, right? Her job
Oh,
was to reinforce her boundaries. My job was to respect them, and if I
yeah.
didn't, then we break up. You know, that's something even a couples counselor told us at one point.
Yeah.
Um,
And to decide if there are boundaries you both want. I mean, that's another big thing. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's not a boundary I want with a partner. Maybe that means we're not together. Maybe it means it's you figure it out. But yeah.
yeah, it wasn't anything like nothing with infidelity. I was loyal to this person, but it's more so of like doing things that would make them feel comfortable or safe, you know, or just proper communication instead of shutting down when those hard feelings come in and feeling avoidant, or uh, if I'm trying to fix it, then it comes from a place of like anxiousness. So then, like you said, it's like the anxious avoidant
And
attachment, right? Yeah,
yes,
it's
intention is everything.
diabolical.
Attention is everything. I'm excited for your journey and for your growth and all that you're learning and all of the skills. It seems like you're aware too that all of the skills that you need to have a healthy relationship with a partner are the same skills you need in your friendships and everywhere else. And it sounds like you're already practicing them in every other relationship. So by the time you get in back into a partnership, you're ready.
Yeah,
And
I'll
it'll
be
be
much ready this
messier.
time.
It'll be messier than a friendship. Let me be clear. You get so much more triggered in partnership, but you'll be able to
Yeah,
see it so much more. I think it's beautiful that you are seeing where to grow and learning as much as you can
yeah,
make that happen. Like so many people, it's a that phase of that breaking up is hard because you're like it's so much self-reflection and that can end up like you're describing into the self-deprecation and hating yourself and being like, I'm awful. And
yeah,
to land at, I did the best you truly didn't know. And this is how you had to learn. And it sucks that it's how you had to learn. And what's cool about what you're doing is you are honoring the fact that that's how you had to learn. Like if you
yeah,
have to hurt somebody to learn something, that's not what any of us want, especially if it's somebody we love. And it's such a waste. I mean, already we didn't like the fact that we hurt them. If we also don't learn from the fact that we hurt them, then it's even worse. But if we honor the fact that we hurt them and grow from it, that's next level shit. That's beautiful. That's how we all grow. And
yeah,
it's almost everyone, actually, I'd say everybody who's ever interacted with a person has has had to go through this, and most people don't choose to because we all hurt the people we love, even if we don't mean to. And if you get curious about that and decide to grow and learn from it, you actually honor that hurt and become a better, stronger person who knows more than you did when you were the person who hurt them. And you can actually, you are telling me a story in which and you are exhibiting it right now, that you actually face that. You actually face the hurt you caused somebody and you go, I don't want to do that again. I'm going to learn. And that's so beautiful and inspiring. And I hope everybody who gets to hear you takes away that lesson in their own lives because
yeah,
it makes all of us better.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was so lovely to meet you.
I appreciate you, Morgan. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Where did you come from, by the way? Was it Instagram, TikTok?
I originally followed your page on Instagram and then I just followed the Zoom from there.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Fun. Just curious. Okay. Happy Friday. That was fun.
Morgan, I think Instagram muted
I
you
can't
because of all the dick talk. So I
Oh,
think we should restart. I think you should end the live and restart it.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I probably shouldn't have said the word. Yeah. Let me not do it again. I was about to do it again. Uh, why TikTok let me go? Relationship Q&A. Okay. Comment Zoom to join us in Zoom. Send. Whoopsies. Thanks, Eddie.
Of course.
Can you hear me in there? It's so funny.
Yes. Yes, I can.
Whoopsies. I wonder how long they had me muted.
A hot second.
Like the whole time because I did
No,
all
not the whole
in the
time, but
beginning.
about probably like 8 minutes.
Okay.
Not terrible.
Okay.
All right. Our next person is Melody.
Hmm.
Melody's
Melody's back. Hi.
actually, Melody, do you want to ask your primary question?
You got it written?
I don't have it written, but I mean, I'm good.
Okay, cool.
So, um, I I called my husband yesterday. The last couple days, my 14-year-old, um, and I've been kind of butting heads,
Hmm.
and she can be very similar to him in some particular aspects. And there are certain conversations that we'll have that just light me up. And I'm like
In a
0 to
negative way.
60.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's I also did it in the car the other day. I'll get frustrated with something that my girls will say, and I find it um like they're assuming that they're right about something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make a comment and then I'm blown off completely. And I'm just like immediately like super angry.
Mm.
I do try to like I'm not just like just immediately ramming into them or anything, but I have a lot of emotions that build up real fast.
Yeah.
And then when I respond back, I'm just like I'm feeling all those feelings and they're really big.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't, I don't want to be like that.
yeah.
And then with my husband, there's a lot of bad patterns that are connected with why I feel the way that I feel with him when I get frustrated. Generally, it's around like he's too tired to help. And I get frustrated because we've had multiple conversations of, well, it's not fair for you to give 100% to your job and leave nothing for us. And, I need you to.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got some family of his coming in a couple weeks, and he has some family here right now who's working with him, which means he's working nonstop and he's coming home stupid late, and I have to do like an insane amount of work, me and my oldest two.
Mm.
And that also frustrates me because then I'm overly relying on my two oldest girls and I don't have anybody else to help.
Mm.
And it's like a lot of pressure built up. And I don't know how to deal with myself better in a
Mm.
way when I'm feeling all of that just intense pressure that it feels like when I'm frustrated in those moments. I don't want because I grew up with a mom who had no emotional control when things were frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being a teenager and not wanting to live at home because of how she behaved.
Hmm.
I had a stepsister who never, ever, ever wanted to visit because she was always like angry. And I don't want to be that. I do
Yeah.
not. I do not want to be that.
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah. God,
So,
it's a lot of fighting. You're
yeah, it's a
saying,
lot of, yes. Oh, yeah, me for sure.
like so much. Yeah. God, and so many situations too where you're in the car and they say the thing and then you get frustrated and then you're mad that you're frustrated and you're mad that they're saying the thing that made you feel frustrated, but you don't want to be the person who's frustrated. So now you're battling yourself to not be frustrated and then you try to be nice. And then that
Well, I'm not really good at nice.
you try to be what?
I'm I'm very poignant. I'm very like let's address the issue. And I will just like try to speak on what it is.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to control my feelings, but
Yeah.
I'm like, this is wrong. Like, no, we don't do this. We don't like say things as though they're true, even though you have absolutely no clue. You don't do that. You speak the truth. If you think something might possibly be a way, then say that more clearly.
Hmm.
That was the thing that those were the things that came out of my mouth because that's just a big thing for me. I don't like people who say things like it's the absolute truth. And my oldest is so bad about that. And
Hmm.
so is my husband. He can also be
Hmm.
like that. And then it's like, yeah, so now I don't trust your opinion because you're
Yeah.
stating an opinion as though it's a fact. And that's not the same. So,
Yeah. Um, I want to tell you I'm torn because I want to just tell you the hack for what to do with that. And I also want to address the burnout, exhaustion, inner battle that's happening.
we'll do the hack first.
Okay. Okay. The hack is all teens and adults tend to not like statements, they like questions. Um, and when I say that, I mean, I should say that they respond much better to curiosity than they do
Mm,
anything other than curiosity.
I understand what you mean.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So if you can, so the hack is turning your thought into a question and looking for how your thought is wrong when you ask the question. So what I mean is, you just said it so well. It's like, oh, girl, you got this. You said you just stated an opinion like like it's a fact. We don't do that. The
Hmm.
shift would be, I just heard that like you were stating an opinion like it was a fact.
Oh, that's
What
so
was I
much better.
what was I missing?
Yeah.
Fully that you take the thing and you go, you know what, I'm probably wrong about that. Maybe she meant just I'm probably wrong. If you can thread that tone into the question and actually
Hmm.
look for how you were wrong and what you were missing, you'll end up getting the result you wanted. So I
Well,
heard
I think it'll make them self-reflect, which is what I'm really wanting. I
yes.
don't want to just be like hammering them. I
Yeah.
want them to self-reflect. I'm seeing something that I know is not right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't, yeah, I don't like this way avenue that I handle it.
My favorite question of all time is what am I missing? And the super simple way to do this, and that it's like a mini mirror game. I teach a much bigger version of this, but the tiny version of this with people like that. I when you said that, I heard this. What am I missing?
Hmm.
And then hope
I
to be missing something.
I don't, I'm not good at that when I'm upset.
Which takes us to why I wanted to not just talk about the hack. Because you can write that on your phone and it'll help you a ton. Like your screen grab can be, I heard when you said that, I heard this. What am I
Yeah.
missing? And you can be like, all right, 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 right. That's what I'm going to say. And you can also be like, I do not care. I'm so pissed right
Yeah.
now and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And you
I
just
feel
need to
that
shape up
more.
because
Yeah.
because the story of your current situation that you're telling me has you feeling so tired and frustrated and alone. So alone. Like when your teens are talking to you, it doesn't sound like you feel like you're all on the same team. It sounds like the distance between the back seat and the front seat is a mile. And when you're talking about your husband, it doesn't sound like this is a conversation of two partners. It sounds like screaming across the Grand Canyon, hoping he'll hear you. And then he's asking why
Yeah.
you're screaming. And you're like, because I'm all the way over here and you're not hearing me.
Yeah. I really related a lot to the girl that was going a minute ago, or their healing journey. I forgot her
Mhm.
name, I'm sorry.
Charity?
Um, I think so.
Yeah,
Don't
I think
ask me to have a memory, I'm sorry.
I won't. I won't.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah, because he's still dealing with a lot of shame stuff. And uh, for the longest, we fought. And we had three babies pretty much back to back. And before we had those, we had my oldest two. And they're a little bit older. There's like a 4 year
Mm,
gap, but they
okay.
were still pretty young. And I just feel like when we had our last three, like it was just horrendous. The level of everything that you just said,
Mm,
and the just being alone in everything, in all the work, and the it just felt like a train wreck, you know?
yeah.
And I want and wanted to be such a good mom, but it was like so much was in the way of being able to be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All of the communication tips and parenting tips in the world mean nothing if you've got nothing to give. You can't.
yeah,
Even if you follow them, even if you say all the right words and you do all the right things, the fact that you've got nothing to give means that they come out hollow and you feel it.
yeah.
So it just performing more is not the answer. Doing more and trying to be more perfect is not the answer.
But isn't it? Oh. So says my brain.
It's been the MO and you've gotten really good at it. You've gotten really good at having nothing to give and somehow still giving.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess, that's the question is if you still if you want an alternative.
Yeah, but it's like I don't have one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I sat with my oldest yesterday, um, because it was like 2, 3 days in a row of every time that she came to me with a problem, every time she just immediately starts to argue with me, and her tone is just super hyper and really frustrating. And it's like, why can't you do anything that I say? Like everything that I say is now an argument. And for a
Mm.
little while now, I have been um, telling my girls that I'm done having conversations. I'm done trying to talk them out of their bad decisions. Um, I'm just going to tell them that, essentially boundaries, oh, you made this choice, therefore there's now this consequence. And so now you just get consequences, and I'm done talking, because I used to just try to talk them out of it. I didn't want them to have to be in trouble. Um, for some reason, I thought that would work. Doesn't work. Doesn't work at
Mm-mm.
all. So, I think that's what she's doing, is she's trying to talk her way out of it, maybe. And even to the point of like just saying things that are completely not true. And so I sat with her and I talked with her, and I'm like, my biggest issue is that every time I tell you something, that you immediately argue back with me and you don't say things that are even true anymore. You're saying things and you know that you are. You know you're saying things that aren't right. And it's just to get out of it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, our relationship, you have no idea. Our relationship would be so different if you could just accept what I'm saying. It's really frustrating that I talk and you don't listen. So um, I said some more things along that line, made sure I was super clear, and then I left it alone. Today's attitude has already been better. Yesterday was all right thereafter.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping that I'm just gonna ride that line. I'm just gonna keep riding that.
I don't know if what I heard and what you just shared
Mhm.
was not actually it doesn't sound like the problem was her not accepting what you, or the thing that shifted is not, now she's just going to accept everything that you say because she's
No.
not. But it sounds like you were as vulnerable as you could be in that moment. And you said,
Mhm.
this is hard for me.
Mhm.
And that made her see you as a human and not just a mom to rebel against or convince
Yeah.
or coerce. And that it sounds like you're missing key to probably most of it.
Missing what?
The missing key, like the missing piece to
Oh.
a lot of it is it sounds you're just so tired that maybe that's an okay thing to admit, like to have
Mhm.
conversations and say, I'm tired. And so I'm going to care for that feeling
Yeah.
by taking a nap. I'm tired, so I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm getting really frustrated because I've got no bandwidth. So I'm going to go get myself some more bandwidth
Mm.
by taking some rest.
Yeah. Instead of like just lashing out because I'm still trying to meet their needs,
Yeah.
even though I've got nothing to give.
Yeah. If you try to meet other people's needs when you haven't met your own, you will resent them.
Yeah.
And we end up dooming the people who love us the most, who we love the most, to being the people who hurt us the most.
Yeah.
Because yeah, which unfortunately most of us are trained that's what it means to be a good mom, a good wife, a good mother, a good
Person.
person, husband,
Yeah.
father. Like a lot of us have been
Mhm.
trained that, and it doesn't
Yeah.
work. And then we wonder
Yeah.
why so many relationships are filled with resentment. And it's because it's been hammered into us, put yourself last.
Mhm.
So the more people you love, the farther you get down on that list. And the less love
Mhm.
you have to give because you're
Yeah.
pouring from an empty cup.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So I shall be curious when they say stupid, mean things.
Yes. What's the phrase? Do you remember the phrase?
Ah, no. I told you to make me
I know.
remember.
I feel like we need to put it on your phone. When
I
you
will.
said this, I heard, when you said that, I heard this.
Yes.
What am I missing?
Yes. I shall. And um
They said,
that
I heard, what am I
right.
missing?
And that when also I think maybe when I feel like lashing out, I need to ask myself, what is it that I need right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then give it to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a scene. It was a beautiful conversation, Melody.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you. So many people are going through exactly what you're going through and not doing
Yeah.
any of the work that you're doing right here, right now with me. And so much of the work you've done before sitting right here, right now with me. So I know you feel behind, or it seems like you feel like you're not doing enough, but you're
Always.
doing so much.
Thank you for making this available because, I mean, like, how long could I go on? How long would I carry this if I didn't have you right now?
Hmm. Thanks, Melody.
Thanks, Lord.
I hope you put it down. That got me. Hmm. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Our next question
I love her.
is from Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah's primary question is, my partner has threatened to break up with me many times. We both have mental health sensitivities. I'm healing faster than he wants to acknowledge. It also feels like his family taught him monetary transactions, not relationships. Should I leave?
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's a lot. Okay. He threatens to leave a lot. You feel like he's not seeing the progress you've made.
I don't, well, it goes without saying, I think that he has unresolved shame issues and has used anger as a defense mechanism
Hmm.
toward his parents or toward anybody who wants to point the finger at him or vilify him for the mistakes that he made as a child. So I don't want to air out his dirty laundry before I air out my own.
Hmm.
But it's very cool too. I relate with Jose. I am diagnosed with borderline personality, the gift
Hmm.
that keeps on giving. So it's been a long road. So I haven't been the easiest to, if you can imagine, very emotional.
Hmm.
But yes, he, what was your original question? He has threatened and actually gone through with it, saying that he needs space and he wants me to leave. And it could be over a text. It could be a random Tuesday where he just feels like it, like I'm um, I'm too much of a burden. And I feel like there's overstimulation. He's overstimulated. So I try to understand from that because I too get overstimulated and I have certain things that like Melody, they just freak out, you know?
Hmm.
But we have been, I think we're on the ninth time that he has threatened this relationship and it's become a pattern. And he does seem to use like positive punishment versus positive reinforcement, if that makes sense. I feel like he punishes me a lot of the time because he doesn't know how to assert anything else. I feel like he doesn't have the tools in his toolbox. And I'm not saying that I can fix him. Only God can. But I also see a lot of myself in him. And so I've definitely, well, why don't I just leave? Relationships like Jose, again, I feel like he's the best person I've been with, even though I know it's like really, I've held the job down for longer than I have in my life. I'm doing good. I'm in school. I'm completely sober, uh, which is huge, and
Yeah.
it's it's very confusing because I grew up knowing that in order to prove love, you have to do sacrifice.
Yeah.
You have to show it and put your feelings aside. That's my single mother, who raised us.
Oh,
I had to focus a lot on her. And now in my 30s, I'm realizing I have my own emotions. They're big, and but how you were saying the intention is the most important thing. I feel like my intentions are good. So yeah, sorry, I felt like that was needed for you to, and feel free
Yeah.
to ask more questions. But I feel like I'm a burden and that he can just replace me with anybody because he has the money to do so.
Mm.
And honestly, and no shame to anybody else. That's the only version of a man I know. Dad died when I was young. I was a corrections officer as well, so I've seen how things can go south.
Mm.
And I've also seen good in people. I'm an extreme. I hate when things are hurting. So empathy, extreme empathist. I care too much. And in the area that I live in, unfortunately, I'm sure the same thing goes on in a lot of families. Not a very healthy place to live
Mm.
in New Mexico. Um,
Mm.
so I feel like in order to break my whole reality, I do
Yeah.
have to move not only from the relationship, but away from this area because I almost feel like it's not going to end. So, and I hope I didn't confuse you too, because I know I added a lot of extra components, but
Mhm.
I've really thought about this a lot. That's all I do is I think, but I've gotten to a healthy place where I can control my thoughts and my feelings, but I'm scared that it's going to take away the good things that I still have in me, the softness, the caring for people,
What's going to
because
take it away?
staying with him.
Yeah.
Um, but to be honest, I don't know anything else. So I'm sorry for this kind of question. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on you. I know you don't have all the right answers, but I feel like this is a safe, extremely safe space. And I admire what you do. You, you've come a long way yourself
Yeah.
by just the knowledge that you've learned. And so, yeah. So, yes, I feel like a burden. I feel like I have to prove my worth, and at any moment it could all end.
Mm.
I guess I kind of answered my own question there, didn't I?
I think what do you think your answer was?
I should leave, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
He's he's allowed things that, and of course, if please don't let me talk, but I don't know how to break this pattern of my own thinking
Mm.
unless somebody else proves it to me in a way. I don't have many safe men. I'll just put it out there. I don't think men are safe. I'm so sorry to the ones listening. I'm so sorry. So, but yes, he holds things over my head and has made me feel like trash because I can't prove my worth the
Mhm.
way that he can with the money and with his family status, which is they have college under them. And, I'm just a small town girl who single mom didn't drown her in the bathtub. That's
Mm.
kind of, you know, sorry, I didn't think I was going to get emotional. Dang it. But, um, you get, if you're like me, growing up in, I guess, not poverty, but growing up knowing that you don't have a lot, I think it's what's kept me trapped. It's I'm in school now, I'm not paying for it. And so I almost wonder, do I leave and risk all of the progress that I have made? That's, I guess, what the new question would be is, I know I should leave because I shouldn't be treated like that. Nobody should. But I'm so trapped in this. He allows me to, I'm moving forward. And
He financially funds the things that are helping you progress.
yes. And in this world, that seems to be the only thing that matters now. Things have changed. It's not a matter of your feelings, you know? And if it is, you need to get out of the way. You're a liability.
Mm.
And so, and it, you know, it could be just a worldly view that that's just kind of how things are. And I kind of believe that some people are more fortunate than others, and you just kind of have to deal with the hand of cards that, you know, you were dealt with, and be grateful for what you have,
Mm.
because people have it a lot worse, so much worse. So,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Well, I mean,
Sorry, that's a lot. I'm
you
sorry.
did answer your, oh, no, that was a gift.
Thank you.
You answered your own question and then changed your question to, which was really, really beautiful to watch, actually, which was essentially, you know that the relationship has helped you progress because he has paid for things that have helped you heal. If you leave the relationship, he's no longer going to be paying for those things. So what does that mean for your progress? Because even though the relationship is bad for you, getting finances to do the things that are progressing. I wish people could see you. If you're in the Zoom, you can see her, but you can't see her anywhere else. And she's like, um,
Because yes, well, being
so
believed too has been hard. So I appreciate you hearing me wholeheartedly and just understanding. So
yeah,
that's
it's really
thank you.
cute. Um, so
But yes,
your problem sounds logistical.
yeah,
And and then a little mental in that there is the feeling of some people have it. You should be grateful for what you have because so many people have it worse than you, and some people just get to have it better than you. Did I summarize that well?
absolutely. And I hate that that's how I believe. But yes, you just gotta be grateful for the hand that you were dealt. You try and make it better, but sometimes it gets worse depending on your situation. You're a product of your environment unless you do something to change it.
Yeah, I think we've been sold a lie. Like
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
being grateful doesn't mean not wanting more.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I'm not selfish for wanting that either, right? Other people want that too. You guys all want that, you know?
I I mean I'll tell you my belief. I think you're selfish for not wanting it.
Amen. There you go. Yeah. Because
Because you're on this planet to have
yeah.
your life. And if your desires that are put in you to grow and expand, and the way you're doing it with your healing, the same way you could do it with supporting yourself and figuring out how do you have income in a way that doesn't rely on him or somebody else. How do you like that's living. And if you have that
Mhm.
desire in you, then I believe you're meant to go for it. I believe that we're meant to
Yeah.
pursue the full expression of who we are on this planet to be. Because the more you do that, the more that I've done that, the more grateful I felt, the more fun I've had, and the less I've cared about the outcome. Because that process is so fun. And I get I was raised in the second poorest county of Iowa, and that was huge narrative there. You should not want more. You should not. You should. It's not. It may. I felt ungrateful for wanting anything other than what everyone in the stay close to the family, have a lot of kids, raise them there,
Mhm.
earn what you have to earn to pay for that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's that did I feel way more alive and aligned doing the opposite and more generous and loving and connected and all of that.
Mhm.
So that's my perspective on that. But
Well, I agree too. No kids. I said no, I'm good. I realized, and kudos and respect to all the moms and dads
Oh,
out there.
well, I do actually have a
Really,
kid and I do love having kids, but
you
I
too.
love
Hey,
people choosing to not have kids.
well, no, and
Full disclosure.
even right, I didn't mean to misunderstand you there. Well, kudos to you and respect to you. But that's part of yeah, that was part of the design of keeping you stuck in my town, or at least because yeah, the resources were very slim.
Yeah.
And but yes, so I guess currently right now, thank you for letting me share and listen and giving your
Well,
feedback.
I mean, your question really is you sound like you've made your decision. You're just scared because you don't know the plan out. You
I'm
need an
terrified.
exit plan.
If you knew my past, I've admitted myself more times than I'd like to admit. I, I've been to a rehab.
Hmm.
It's just it's a loop in this area, you know. You're either in jail or you're in the mental institutions, and it's not that
Yeah.
I don't believe that I deserve better and I can do it. I'm just terrified that the world won't see me that way, and I won't be able to, I guess, make it,
Yeah.
um, and regress.
Yeah.
His mother, I see a lot of that in his mom, where because she, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and a lot of these issues that are stemming with him come from a toxic parent that he estranged himself from.
Hmm.
I see a lot of the things in his mother that um, she's just learned to either settle with, or her belief system has.
Yeah, but for you, let's for you,
Yeah.
your first, it sounds like if you leave this area and you leave him, you will need a support system.
Everybody does, yeah. And that honestly, there it is right there. Is how can anybody do it? I mean, you can television is such a lie. Homeless to Harvard is it's not what it is anymore.
Hmm.
You try and make it, but a lot of I've seen so many good people that were stronger than me fail
Yeah.
and lose their dignity in the process. But so that's where I'm
Yeah.
not pressuring you to give me the right answers. I truly am not. This has
That
been
I know you and you I'll let you go, but I just need to
yeah,
say your fear is not your enemy, it's your friend. That is real. That that does happen to people. It doesn't mean it has to happen to you. If you treat your fear like your friend, meaning you like to think about it. Like this is what I mean. Like your fear of that happening, you can get almost scientific about it and go,
yeah,
what did they not have that I need to make sure I have when I do it? And the few that succeeded, what did they have that I need to make sure I have? Like we need the social support network. We need an income that is reliable. We like these like super simple things. Your biggest obstacle is logistical, and that can be overcome. And you
yeah.
can figure that out
I hope so. I really do. 'Cause
if
I
you
have
want.
high. Oh, it's not that I don't want to. Since I was a little girl, I've just understood things, I think, too early of an age.
Yeah,
But
makes
I
sense.
want it. Not that I don't want it. It's just yeah, how to go about it with my current job, because it seems like you gotta have so much money just to. But yeah,
Find your real number. Find
girl, that is 4 years of college, and I don't think I got it in me. I'm
find
33.
like the real number that you need to be making every month. You know what I'm saying?
I
And,
do, but it changes, though, doesn't it?
Um,
With,
y-
it, he's like, no.
no. That's if you're thinking absolute bare minimum for the work, like, but go, okay, the month that I need the most is this month. That means I need to find a way that I get this much every month. And that's my step number one. And
Yeah,
at the same time that I'm figuring that out and trying things to make that happen, I need a support system of other people who are on the same journey as me. Because especially if you've been diagnosed with borderline, you are a relational person.
I know it's fun. Yeah, you have to have relationships to fix it. That's the funny thing. So, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So it's the like, we got to get the support system of people on that journey. It might be a Facebook group. It might be a comment section. Like it doesn't even, but just these consistent people that are always showing up to this one place that you guys all go and go, hey, we're all working on this thing.
yeah,
What'd you do towards it? Kind of like,
right.
I mean, you've been in recovery, so you understand that
Mhm.
better than most people.
A little bit. I just then you get involved with the wrong people and you realize there's not a very huge circle that you can turn to. But you are right. I have small circles of a networking of sober people who do support me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
You look, what is that feeling? You looked hopeless almost.
Dang. They're struggling too. They're struggling too. And there's not many. And I guess it I can't be completely open. I can, but a lot of the situations and things seems like they don't relate or
Mm,
they can't comment. And so I do keep a lot to myself because I don't want to ruin everybody's time or, with the group, the happy group I have. I do Zumba. I'm an instructor, and so I have a group where I'm fortunate where I can, be happy and feel united with people. But I never want to bring them down with my problems, and they'll they'll support you, but until it gets uncomfortable for them, I've pushed many away.
when you tell somebody your problem, what do you want them to do about it?
Not I'm trying to think of a situation. Um, Sometimes I guess it's to first get it out because verbal processing is important for me. If I get it out, I stop thinking about it. It's like I guess an OCD thing where if I don't, it just becomes a loop. But when I bring up a problem to individuals, a lot of it is that. And then I guess I don't want them to fix it. I want their brain power because I know that people they can be very smart in their perspectives. Everybody's gone through different journeys. And so a lot of the time I just hope that, with their experience and God, they're able to give some sort of insight or, even just it'll be okay at that moment.
Yeah.
I know that they can't fix it. Sometimes they give suggestions, but yeah, I know they're struggling too, and they just want me to feel better. I can see it in their faces, and sometimes they don't even know what to say, but even them just listening is huge too. So,
If that's truly your standard for what you want in return, most people actually can give that and they just don't know that you want that, and they most people think you want them to fix it. So when you bring them down with your negative story, it's actually them going, oh God, what do I have to do? I don't know what to say. I don't know how to respond. And when I was
mhm,
going through my like journey of figuring out the scene method and how to interact and all that stuff, everyone in my life didn't know what to do about that when I was a mess. And
mhm,
I just told them up front, I'm I'm telling you this just so that I don't leave me. That's it. I don't need you to fix it. I don't need you to say the perfect thing. All I need for you to do, and all I want for you to do, I don't want you to do anything more than this, is listen and still be here and want to be my friend. And then I want to listen to you and still be here and want to be your friend. I
right.
believe you can solve your problems, and I want you to believe I can solve mine. I just don't want to do it in the dark. I want somebody to,
Yeah,
you know?
to sit with me, I guess through it. Yeah,
And
and not.
I find that even people who have no skills and don't know anything about that, that's how you find your people. A is actually daring to be vulnerable with them and telling them all you want from them is to sit with you. And it's how they start to feel safe enough to let you sit with them too. And if you have an agreement that we will never fix each other's problems,
Yeah.
straight up, we're going to just sit with each other through them, you end up helping fix a lot more problems because you just believing in somebody is such a
Yeah.
gift.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Maybe I've jumped ahead a couple steps and not given people the opportunity to have the compassion or, to help because I know how good it feels in order to help somebody and make them feel better. So maybe I
Yeah.
need to be more trusting in and patient in their responses and how you saw it in my face. Maybe I need to cool it on, being so reactive in because emotions they're just alarm clocks. So yeah, no, I agree. I agree with what you're saying.
That was a gift though that you had a feeling that I got to see. That was a gift.
Well, you're good. I
But
saw it.
that's not something to get rid of. That's part of your vulnerability. You know what I mean? That's part of why people are drawn to you and connect to you. It's not like,
I guess.
yeah. So
Mhm.
building your support system is just letting people see you and not asking them to do anything but see you.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that
you
sounds
seem
pretty
like
nice.
you're pretty good at it because you just did it with me. You came up here and you were like, here's a lot of stuff. I actually figured out my answer. And I kind of have another question, but kind of not. It was like,
Sorry about that.
exactly. No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you do it. You already know how to do it. I'm not giving
Okay.
you advice or tips right now. I'm saying, why don't you, why not? Why not
Yeah,
do the thing you're already good at?
yeah. And maybe it just took I don't know, sitting with you guys and, you know, sitting with me, I guess, through it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. You're great.
You're great. Thank you for sharing. I hope that
Thank you
didn't
for
drain
listening.
the life out of you. That was so
Not,
okay.
not at all. No, I'll do that to myself. It's okay. I truly do apologize, though. I don't want anybody,
Is
any
that what you were
males.
is that what you were feeling? What were you feeling? You looked so like sad there at the end. I was just checking what was going on.
I I feel bad for what I said. I don't believe that all men are bad, so I don't want anybody to take that to heart. I just have a programming that I'm trying to rewire, so I don't want anybody to take that to heart at all. So,
Oh, you're regretting what you said?
no, it's what I believe, but I don't want anybody else to get hurt from that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. You're
so that's
afraid
all.
you're afraid you hurt somebody with sharing the belief you have.
Yes, because there's a stigma on that too, and I want to air out my stuff and say, no, it's completely my thinking. So before we end, because I know some others are, I don't want to take away the time, but just
I
yeah.
think you did a phenomenal job of that.
Well, they're people too, they're sons and fathers, and they deal with us, and then they deal with the constant work. And so I just
Do you have grid view on right now? Are you able to swipe so you can see the grid?
yeah, yeah. I see all
Oh,
you beautiful people. Yeah.
for just a second, the women, can you turn off your camera and the men, can you turn on your camera?
Oh
Just for a second.
no. I'm gonna hide. Just kidding. All right.
Okay, if that did not hurt your feelings, please do the supportive hand wave thing we do. If Sarah did not hurt your feelings, you actually loved what she said.
Okay. Thank you guys. I don't want to hurt any of y'all. Promise. I thank you. I
James is
appreciate you.
James is driving. He's shaking his head.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. I just needed you to know.
Okay. Okay.
Everyone, you can put your cameras back on if you're ladies,
Mhm.
because we love to see you. You could come back. I just needed Sarah to know.
That was a good thing that you just showed me too. That was very good.
A little window into some good men.
Yeah. Yeah. Just that yeah.
Thank you for being here.
It's tears of joy. Thank you for having me, and to all of what you do. So
Thank you, Sarah.
good luck to everybody too. Thank you so much, Morgan. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wow. What a beautiful soul. It's so vulnerable. What a love.
All right. That was beautiful. And I really liked what you just did. That was really cool. That was very cool.
Thank you
Okay.
guys for doing that. I knew, I was like, I know the guys in here. None of everybody's, I think they get it.
All right. Our
Makes
next
sense.
question is from Ainsley. Ainsley's primary
Hi.
question. Actually, I'm going to let you ask it because I think I'll repaste it in the chat just in case that's helpful. But I think you got it.
Okay, yes. So I'm a single mom. I have just started dating again, but I definitely recognize that I have a tendency to project like past traumas onto how I'm trying to go about into like dating now. Um, it hasn't been much, but like when I communicate, I've done a lot of healing and sort of being authentic with who I am and recognizing my needs and wants in a relationship, and instead of just belittling myself and adjusting to everything that they need.
Mm,
um and because also I am an empath, I could see them as like babies and like how they grew up and stuff, so I feel like I'm over giving and over understanding.
mm,
But now that I'm going into relationships with people who are able to communicate their boundaries, I can communicate mine, but also down the line, I find it very hard for me to step in and start this conversation. Even now, my heart's like starting to pound and I'm starting to shake, like thinking about it and stuff. But I do recognize it would be something like good for the relationship, but I just, and like I talk about it with girlfriends, I'm like, I'm gonna say this, but then I get there and I just go about like how we're hanging out or something or what we're doing, and then obviously the next like something happens, or and I'm like, okay, like I could have avoided this, but like it's like my intuition was right, I should have brought this up rather than, and then it's like, okay, they're just going to take space, and I'm like, okay, like take, I understand, take your space. I'm still like working on stuff too, clearly. So
so you're saying that you notice an issue and you don't bring it up, and then you get really scared by the idea of bringing up how something makes you feel because you feel like it's probably just you projecting. Is that what you're saying?
I feel, yes, like I'm in my past, I've been like physically abused. I've been engaged to someone who's like a racist. I've been like with someone who had my
Mm,
child and ended up like not having sex with me for 4 years. And like, so I'm
mm,
someone very, and like I've been sexually abused. My dad was an addictive gambler. I've been diagnosed with ADHD, OCD, trichotillomania, like picking up the hairs and stuff. And like,
mhm.
I know I disassociate, and I'm working on a lot of that, but I do also recognize, like Sarah said, it would be nice to be like seen and have someone still like
Yeah.
be there through listening, and like because you want to
Mm,
give, I genuinely like doing that for people, but it'd be nice for that for me too. But
yeah.
like how do you like communicate that or bring it up? Like I don't even know where to start. Like you, like you write, you're saying things that I write down, I'm like, okay, this is great, like I'm feeling this, so I'm going to, but
Yeah.
I still find I get myself, well, I guess I haven't tried that since I just learned that skill, but I guess going through being uncomfortable and still being like, I want to sit down and like have this like I still feel like a burden
Yeah.
because I still so desperately just like want it to work out, like, or them to like stay through everything. So I'm like, I know I can. So I don't know, like I'm like, oh, I've healed, I've grown, I'm authentic, but also I'm still going back to old patterns.
Yeah, how do you consistently show up honestly with
Yes.
expressing how you feel and what's going on in a way that doesn't come out as controlling? Because if you feel like, I guess you didn't say that word, but you said you recognize that you're projecting past traumas and stuff, and so you don't want to project on them if they're not actually doing the thing. So basically, how do you trust yourself? Is that part of it
Yeah.
too?
Yes. Yeah. I guess because, like, for example, just to be clear, like when I go into the moment or like, or being with someone, then I'm like, or just going to hang out with them, if I'm triggered by something, even
Yeah.
though I want to go in present and be like, this is just like one thing that's making me feel, I'm assuming like maybe like I know you were busy working, but I'm still like feeling like
Like I
I
did
need
something
like your
wrong.
attention or something. Like I will go in rather than like being like my sparkly like magic self and being like, hey, like, like I'll go in with a
Yeah.
little bit of like passive aggressiveness without even, like, I don't know if I notice it, but
Okay. Yeah. It's like the
right.
feeling that you have. That's a very good example. That
Okay.
helps.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
And then I'm like, okay, I feel like, I'm like, I feel guilty that I made you feel that way. I should have communicated or come at you with like a compassionate curiosity. Like now, like I'm learning so much from everyone's talks as well. So,
Yes. Yeah,
um,
it does help to start with the compassionate curiosity. The when you said this or when you did this, I thought
yeah,
you meant this.
yeah,
What am I missing? And assume you're missing something. That is very helpful. But also it sounds like this debate in it sounds like there's a constant drumbeat of should I feel this way or not? Is this the right feeling or the wrong feeling? Like it seems like that's happening a lot too. So before you even, because if we come out as passive aggressive, it tends to be because we don't want to feel what we're feeling. We don't want to need what we need. And so we're like, no, it's fine because
yeah,
we would like it to be fine, but also we don't think it's fine. So there's a fight inside. Um, I started doing this thing I call even those statements that have been really helpful for me, and I wonder if they're going to be really helpful for you. Um, Maybe. I think they will be. Because the reason that we tend to yo-yo like that with a feeling is that one part of you in that story knows they were probably busy and they did not mean to hurt you. But the other part of you still feels hurt. And so those two parts are battling. So what I now do in my own brain is an even though statement, which is even though they probably didn't mean to hurt me, it makes sense that I feel hurt. It doesn't mean they did anything wrong.
mhm.
Whoa. Wait, do we have an audio problem? Are we good?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Hear
I
me? Yeah.
heard, yeah, I think somebody accidentally unmuted. Um, even so, and even though statement is really helpful. Even though they did not mean to hurt me, it makes sense that I feel hurt. Is so helpful because it's out of the blame framework. It's not saying I deserve to be hurt. It's not saying they should have hurt me. It's not saying they're a bad guy for trying to hurt me. You're just saying, well, yeah, of course. I have a history of feeling anxious and so sometimes I feel hurt when people don't mean to hurt me. That doesn't make them a bad person and it doesn't make me a bad person for being hurt.
Right.
It's very helpful. So I
So
don't know.
even though they did not mean to hurt me,
It makes sense that I feel. So it's even though blank, it makes sense that I feel blank. Is the
okay.
fill in the blank version of that?
Thank you.
Or if you make it super simple, it's like even super clear would be even though they did not mean to make me feel whatever the feeling is, it still makes sense that I have that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
think I still like maybe the person deciding to take a step back from that. Like I definitely like recognize that. Like they don't need that. Like, but I don't know. I guess I feel bad that still that's something that like pushed someone away, or like I don't know.
You think it'll push them away if were
Well, no, what pushed them away is that instead of like being like who I usually am, because I have worked on myself, that was like a little like slip up moment.
yeah.
But instead of like showing up present and just like myself, I was more like, no, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
felt that.
Yeah. But
So
in that moment, it came out as that's fine, but you said you were, even though you don't like that it made you feel this way, how did it make you feel?
it made me feel almost disrespected
Disrespected. Like you're,
because I don't know. I feel like when I'm open with someone and they're so understanding, because sort of like Sarah as well, I go in like we talk a lot. Like I'm very open about everything I've been through. Like now, sorry, I've got 5 dogs. They're
that's
my
fun.
therapy dogs. I got therapy dogs. But yeah, I like to open up because I also feel like they open up to me a lot more and gives them a vulnerable space. And like
Yeah.
I think because I want someone to sit with me and see me, I do that with them. But then once I start to like be myself, like I could see them pulling back. So then I just like adjust to them because I want someone to stick around.
Oh, that's different than because if being yourself is saying no, that's fine. That's not probably being yourself. That's probably protecting a part of you that you feel ashamed about.
Yeah, or feel like we'll be rejected or like abandoned again. Or like if I meet, I don't even know because like the other relationships were just like really off like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So
I don't think and
that's why dating,
when you're
yeah.
explaining it, it sounds like you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to keep bending for the other person.
No, because like I said, like now I'm a mom as well, and like she's 5. I left because my parents were like, with my dad being an addictive gambler, I was raised like hearing them fight all the time, him disappearing, and like my mom
Yeah.
talking to me calling my dad to be like, come home, and like he wouldn't come home, and like
Yeah.
listening to
Yeah.
the thing. So when that started happening in my relationship, the second Nella was outside my door and was like, Mommy, are you okay? Like after being screamed at for hours, I was like, okay, that's like, even though it's tough for me, for my daughter, I left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that sort of made me be like, okay, like let's get my shit together. It's been
Yeah.
it's been almost 5, almost 6 years since I've been dating.
Yeah.
And 4 years like celibate. So I'm like, I want to go into this right. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
want to give myself away because that's what I used to do, like to get like attachment or feel that validation. Because
Yeah.
when I would get vulnerable, people wouldn't be into like deep conversations. They were into like my, my like body and stuff.
And that's how you know you're Oh my God, hold on.
I scared her away.
My straightening iron that I use for my bangs is over there, and I turned it on. I could smell it, and it's been on for the last however long, but nothing is burned. Thank
Okay,
God.
good.
I just went, oh God, how long has that been on? Um, uh, well, that sounds like the change that you're expressing is your feelings have to matter in your next relationship, and that's your standard.
Yes.
And the question isn't how do I get people to care about my feelings? It's how do I find people who do?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And we uh we accept people treating us the way we treat ourselves. That's how we set our standards. So you can do all of the mental gymnastics and write on paper and like like tell yourself people are gonna like I'm only gonna be with somebody who likes my vulnerability. But if you don't do it for yourself, no one else, you won't notice it. Like you'll accept worse treatment. So
Hmm.
that thing from earlier, I'm feeling this and here's what I'm gonna do to care for that feeling.
Hmm.
if you're doing that to yourself all day, then when you say to somebody, I'm feeling this, and so I'm going to do this to cure for that feeling, and they go, that's stupid, or you don't, why would you feel that way? You're going to go, oof, that's weird. You got some work to do, and you're out. They're
Yeah.
not your people.
Yeah.
Or the more you validate your own feelings first and you start caring for your own feelings first, the less you'll let somebody else not do that. Like that will be your new bar for how people treat you.
Yeah.
And B, that's how you're going to end up treating other people. Same way.
Yeah.
The way that you listen to their feelings already, it's going to be even more so because
It will be reciprocated.
we reciprocated, you'll also probably be better at it. Like you think you're good now, wait till you get good at it doing it with yourself.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I feel like I am. I do I just feel like I'm 36, so it's been a long time. Like, I want to like reprogram or like rewire my brain as well, but it's a story I've told myself for so long.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I am at that point where it's not like people just made their way out of my life naturally because I feel like it didn't align with who I wanted to be going forward.
Yeah.
And that was very uncomfortable. Like, I am at a very fresh space. So I
Hmm.
guess it's just very uncomfortable or like to find those people and then to know how to like just not like give everything like right away. Cause like that's just like, like I feel like if I'm being authentic, like that's who I am as a person. So like how am I,
Yeah.
I don't.
How do you get less hurt if you are authentic and then they reject you? Is that the question?
Yes. So this was also like the first when he did take a step back, I was like, okay, like obviously I was myself, like because there were other times where I was myself and so I'm like, I don't have to like,
Chase.
yeah, that's the word chase. Yes. I was able to like actually like not stay attached to that, and be like, what could I, like it
Yeah. It's
felt
another
refreshing.
even though you had so much hope and you thought it would be great, even though you wanted it,
Yeah.
it makes sense that you're sad that it ended up not being it.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Of course you're feeling that way. And of course you're scared. It's been so long and you're showing up and you're doing the work and you're learning the next steps and you're figuring it out and it sucks that you have to learn.
Like dating again.
Yes, by dating and by the
And like
messy process,
communicating.
but yeah, you can't
Communicating. Yeah.
you can't learn how to dance by just watching other people dance and never standing up and trying it yourself. But after you've seen a lot of people dance, you get really scared to stand up and try it because it's gonna be messy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be messy.
Yes. I got two left feet. But
Not for long.
yes.
You gotta get on that dance floor. That's what you're doing.
All right. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you need. I'm here. I'm listening to you. Also, I think I need water and food, so I'm gonna pop up and get water and food. Listening to you doesn't sound like you're in need of any advice. It's more like you're needing encouragement to keep to that you're okay. That like
Like, I thought I had a question because it was like, how do I start these conversations? But you have like in the other ones really given me like I'm feeling, so I'm going to, and also to come at them with like compassionate curiosity and not like blame. And now the
yeah.
though thought because I would like to be present and like what I'm feeling in that moment rather than like, no, it's fine about like something.
Yeah. You got it. And
Yeah.
you soaked it in and you're ready to use it. So
Yes.
now it's just
Do
oh
it.
God, here we go. Go try.
Okay.
I'm excited for you. I want to hear how it goes.
Okay. I
Are you
will.
on dating apps? How are you meeting people?
I'm not on dating apps. It's just like people from like my past, really, like not people that I've dated.
With people that you know.
Yes, just people that I know.
Fun. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
A lot of the times they're like the friends of boyfriends. It's a very weird phase.
Oh,
It's a very
interesting.
weird phase,
We're
yeah.
finding out that all your past boyfriends' friends had crushes on you. That's what we're learning.
But yeah, like I would like to meet someone new. I want to like go out. I don't know, like I'm still figuring out myself because I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, man, the exploration. Yeah.
And like
I'm
now I'm like a caregiver for I used to like work at a dog rescue and do like media and stuff. And now my mom has Alzheimer's. So I stopped working. I moved in with my parents. So like everything's just changed. So I feel like how I go about in my relationships going forward, I just have to be really mindful of and just
yeah.
make sure.
I think that's so smart.
Yeah.
You're being mindful and you're having boundaries at the same time as you are putting yourself out there and trying. And dating is hard and scary and unpredictable and wild and you're doing it.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're like giving me the encouragement. I needed that. So thank you. I felt like I did need advice, but
You got it
you
already.
gave me a lot of advice. Yeah, you've given a lot of advice. So I really appreciate that.
You're so welcome. Keep us updated on your journey.
I will. And come back with more dating questions.
Yeah. Do it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take 30 seconds because I can feel my blood sugar dropping because I realized I was struggling to, to make sense of the sentences and I was like, uh-oh, I gotta get a little hit of food. So I'll be
Mm-hmm.
right back.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Nice.
I'll be back.
Soon
The
you'll
Jonathan
see.
Groff's interview with Amy, what's her name? I love Amy Poehler talking about his performance in oh my God, my
Hamilton.
brain. I can't think of any words. I'm so sorry, Ainsley. You got me low blood sugar. I was low blood sugar version. And it took me too long to notice. And I'm so sorry about that. Thank you. Look at that chat. You can stream me eating. That's fine.
Yeah, you're streamed now.
Oh, good.
When
Hello.
you were walking away, I just turned on the whole side because why not?
Okay.
But
This was in a steam oven and it's been essentially cooked for the last 3 hours. So the chicken is crazy dry and the broccoli is melted. I should have eaten it when it was fresh earlier. Dan's gonna be so sad. Cookie.
okay.
Do we like even though? I love the even though statements. I'm trying to figure out how to explain them because it's so incredible. I got a text and the person who sent the text was like, it was weirdly triggering to me. And I was like, why did I get triggered by that? It was so weird. And then I was fighting with myself and I couldn't shake it. And I was doing all the mental gymnastics and I was doing all the statements and I was trying to like get it through. And then I went, hold on. And this is the night that I figured it out. And I was like, well, because they kept being like, well, they didn't mean to hurt me though. And it doesn't make sense. I'm not actually hurt. I shouldn't be hurt. It makes no sense. And I went, well, even though they didn't make to hurt me, it makes sense that I feel hurt. And instantly my entire body went, oh, it's like, oh, that's incredible. I got to use that more. And then I've used it a ton and it's been incredible. Like in real time, like if somebody's giving you feedback and you start to get offended and you go, oh, even though they're giving me feedback for a really good reason and they're not trying to hurt me. They're not trying to be critical. It makes sense that I feel hurt. And then immediately I stop feeling hurt. Once you let yourself have the feeling has the lifespan it's supposed to have. I don't know if I feel like that explains.
100%. You said that even though, and the even though statements, and somebody in the chat said, what if the feeling that you're having doesn't make sense?
But it does.
Which I loved. And I was like, it does.
But it does. It always makes sense. You just don't know why yet.
You have to be a scientist.
Just be a scientist. Be a scientist, baby. Look into it. It's fun. Your feeling is always right. It always makes sense. It's trying to tell you something. Maybe about a moment that isn't this one, that just this one's reminding you about. But somebody said, "What? Oh, you're that relationship lady on TikTok," and I find that funny. I also love that I'm the age now that people call me lady. That makes me happy.
Lady.
I'm a lady. I've always wanted to get old. I'm really looking forward to that.
It's a good thing it's inevitable.
Yeah, I know. I got bangs and now my forehead wrinkles are covered up, so I look younger than I did before, but I like the way that the bangs look, so oh well.
I love the bangs. I never want them to leave.
Thank you. Bangs, not Botox. Bangs instead of Botox.
Hashtag bangs, not Botox.
My bangs are my Botox.
That is too funny. Okay, Steven, trying to find your face. Are you okay with Morgan eating while talking
if you
to
have
you?
misophonia,
Thumbs
stop
up
watching.
or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Okay.
If you have misophonia, stop watching me. Come back in 30 minutes.
All right. Steven's question in its simplified form. I think there's a lot to it. But I feel like I'm not allowed to have feelings. My fiance says she gets the ick when men have or articulate feelings. I heard you say to Charity earlier that we should focus on ourselves, even when it feels like we're leaving or abandoning the other person. What would your advice be to start creating the invitation to walk together with her through this dynamic?
Do you want to add anything?
Yes.
I have so many things I want to say right now, and I feel like I should listen first.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack. And I think I need to give some context here because it's important. So this is my fiance. We've been together now 4 years. And yesterday was a pretty huge inflection point for us. So I'm trying to be brief here, but she basically gave me an apology that I believed I deserved for 4 years. So there's a lot of pain at the beginning. So I came out of a really bad traumatic relationship prior to her, and I did a lot of work to heal through that. I thought I was ready to start dating, entered the relationship with her. She and I started off okay, and then she got really comfortable showing me her worst parts. And that was like there was a lot of man hating, there was a lot of dishonesty, there was a lot of just being outwardly hurtful, blamed me for things that she was doing to me. A lot of just minimal effort, expecting me to take the breadcrumbs. Any accountability turned into like a kryptonite. It was and I can give examples of that, but it traumatized me. There was a point where I was trying to repair. I tried to with her on this, and she had a lot of really toxic friends at the time, who were goading her to leave and start sleeping around and stuff, and it was a big mess. And she instead of repairing the next day, she called me, blindsided me, um, trying to split up, wanting to split up and go our separate ways. I then had to call a hotline because it was really troubling to try to sit there with that. Um, that was our what we dubbed our first relationship. So many
Okay.
months passed by, and we took time apart. I was feeling great again. I was totally ready to move on. She came kind of knocking on my door for a second chance,
Uh-huh.
and she apologized for some things in her own way,
Hmm.
and I accepted it. I thought that she was committed to some growth and some church, like moving together. Um,
Hmm.
we ended up going to couples therapy at some point, um, and we have it's a this dynamic. A couple weeks ago, you're talking about men, um, and emotions and feelings and everything, and I and holding a space for it. And
Hmm.
in couples therapy, we discovered that she was more leaning into the hyper masculine, independent, hyper independent frame, where I was coming more from a more feminine energy because we went through a lot of this discovery. I had a really huge mother wound. There's a lot of like just not nurturing happening. She had a huge father wound, and our therapist basically said that we tried to become the things that we didn't have.
Hmm.
And that turned into this maladaptive chaos. Um, and so anyway, we had that first relationship. There's a lot of, couples therapy, a lot of repeating the same cycles in our fights. I can bring something up. She shuts down pretty much immediately, refuses to hold space for what I'm saying. I start the anxious protesting, the TED
Hmm.
Talks. And then I just start deluding myself into thinking that she's listening because I get the head nods, but she's dissociated. And we
Hmm.
did that for a while, and I started we both started our own individual therapies, moved away from couples. And I had a big aha moment of I needed to learn how to regulate before responding. And that broke apart a lot of the
Yeah, boy. Okay.
So there's a massive change from my end. I've been really, on it about walking away when things get heated, trying to give her space, not trying uh, to wrap up the whole problem, like, problem solve right in the moment in the heat of everything,
Hmm.
just give it some space. So, in any case, this week something came up for us. So uh, her tire was going flat, and
Okay.
she is so I jumped in. I was wanting to try to handle the situation because she had already told me she's thrown away lots of money, having gotten taken advantage of by mechanics that have you know told her X, Y, and Z are wrong, and I love
Hmm.
cars. So I jumped in. So I was like, let me handle this for you.
Hmm.
She came at me with this distrusting energy of like,
Okay.
you didn't tell me how things are going. I'm just going to go out and take it myself. And um, so we had this debacle.
Hmm.
And it turned into like this 3-day thing where I was having like a lot of sensitivity to just a lot of just her energy towards me. She was, for instance, she was looking for her phone, and um, there was like, I knew exactly where it was. It was sitting on the couch, and she chose to like look at her, like she ignored me, looked at her watch, clicked the iPhone button, went to find it, and just like blinders ignored me.
Okay.
And I started conflating this with this idea that she's just kind of tracking back to the original relationship, if there was a lot of man hating, a lot of like distrust in men, she's just putting her blinders on because she just doesn't trust men to give any support. So that's been sort of a theme that we've looked at in couples therapy. Um, and so it wasn't some like new thing. It was like a thing we've been trying to track and work
Okay.
through together. Um, so
Hmm.
in any case, I had yesterday she went to her individual therapist, explained the situation, basically suggested to her therapist that I was making a mountain out of a molehill, which in the grand scheme of things, yeah, this was also a giant resentment bucket of just the constant same cycle
Mhm.
over and over and over again, the same thing just dressed up differently, that spilled over. And so she finally, I think, and all my anxious protesting, I had asked her to communicate with me. At,
Mhm.
and yesterday, I didn't care how it came out. I was just grateful that she did, but she communicated me what problem she had with me.
Mhm.
And it was like a big it was like lift happened at that point where I was like, thank you for finally telling me that you
Mhm.
have a problem. Like that it like this is what I need. I've been needing
Mm.
communication. Um, I don't want to beg for it. And so we're at this inflection point where she she apologized yesterday for having mistreated me at the very beginning about the whole man hating thing, the all of the how she showed up, how there's a lot there.
Mm.
And that just suddenly like that healed me. Like that was the thing I you know I've been needing. I didn't know how to articulate, and I was punishing her for that throughout all of those different moments, like this week, 3 days,
Yeah.
the whole tire and the watch thing. Um, I punished her, and she was feeling hurt by it, and I want to take my ownership in that. Um, but I'm now sort of in this dynamic. Like this morning, I told her that I felt sad about some of the commentary from her therapist about me in this situation, not having the full context
Yeah.
of everything that's happened. And she tried to reason and logic me out of not feeling sad.
Mhm.
Um, and I know that she struggles a lot with shame or processing shame. So I've been hearing things like from Charity's um, message or your talk with her yet earlier.
Mhm.
Um, it resonated a lot. That now that this this all surfaced, I'm feeling better. I can't I can start going on my own path here of healing further and holding my boundaries and everything. I'm not punishing her now. I'm not projecting these bad habits onto her anymore. I feel good. Um, I'm trying to look at like what does healthy look like from here?
Mm.
Especially since she hasn't had a great track record of holding space for feelings of a man.
Mhm. So your question after basically it's a very rough summary, but you had a really crappy first run at being in a relationship together. Then you were going to move on, but then she asked to be back in a relationship and you chose to do that. And then that was better, kind of rocky, but better enough that you ended up being fiancés. Then you were like, maybe not so much anymore because I don't like this. And then we had a really bad week with the car and the phone or the watch. I got confused on phone, watch, or phone or both. And then is it both phone and watch?
And she was looking for her phone and buzzed her watch. She has an iWatch. She was able to
Got
like
it. Okay.
dig it.
That. I got it together now. I was like, wait, how did that? I got it now. And then you had a turning point and she communicated last night and she apologized. And so you felt really seen and like she understood what it was to feel to be you, what it felt like to be you. And now you're like, okay, what do I do from here? And you're asking, what does healthy look like? Meaning for within the relationship, like what do you do to keep the relationship healthier? Or what does it look like for you as an individual to move forward and be healthy?
Sort of both, because I'm so neither one of us have recognized what healthy looks like in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard from our couples therapists about secure attachment.
Mm-hmm.
We've both in our individual therapies have figured out what that track looks like from, for my case, anxious to secure, and for hers dismissive avoidant to secure. And it looks different. Our paths look different. Healthy looks different. Holding space looks different. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we're now I'm here with with kind of a new outlook where
Hmm.
I'm seeing you know, I realize now that like it was all those issues where I was effectively punishing her for the mistake she made at the beginning.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay, good.
you know, I want to, um, now that we're beyond that,
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it right from here.
What do you replace it with? We don't like what we've been doing. How do we replace it? What do we replace it with? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So
Cool.
I'm not here like anxious
Wow.
protesting. I'm not like like in my head scrutinizing or criticizing too much.
Yeah.
It's not going through that filter anymore.
How do
Um,
you catch yourself when you're feeling like a victim and shift into being a partner? Cool. Essentially, you never used the word victim, but it sounded like that's how you felt a lot, like you were the victim of the relationship. Like you didn't choose anything. It got forced on you, and then you had to work really hard for something that kind of hurt you. So why were you working so hard? That seemed like what you were feeling, but I might have overinterpreted. Does that sound true?
yeah, yeah, there are a lot of times where um, it felt unbalanced, where I was doing a lot of the emotional labor and she was
Yeah,
saying
which
she's
is because you
trying
chose
to,
to.
yeah,
And it feels like in the moment that's being done to you.
yeah.
And so how do you catch it when it feels like that?
Mhm.
Is really I mean, that's really the question is to catch. Yes, one, you need to know what to replace it with, but two, you got to know when to replace it because it's so and it's the same person that you've been together in the with the crappy pattern for so long that now it's changing the pattern. How do we change the pattern? Wow, cool question. Cool. Also, you've been through it, and it's fascinating. Through that story, I was like, following you and I was like, wow, you've totally lost hope. And then you were like, and now I've got so much hope. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought we were about to do a breakup story, but no. The left turn is actually turned around last night. Wild. Um, I work with couples who've been together for a very long time, 42 years, with the same pattern for that long. And they're finally at that breaking point, and they're like, they have this realization that life ends at some point and it's getting sooner and closer and they don't want to live like this anymore, and when they I get to work with them and they're trying to make radical change, but they've got these habits from forever ago. And even if they have massive wounds from infidelity or old, the way that relationships were taught before, where it was definitely not a partnership, it was kind of a boss and employee thing, and how do we shift that? It's really cool to do that work. And the only way I've seen it healed is actually not to address all the old stuff. You don't bring up all the old stuff a lot at the beginning. It doesn't work because that's all the heavy, scary, the things that made you call a hotline, the thing that makes the thing, all of the like big things that when you touch on them, they go sideways. I don't recommend diving in and resolving that yet, which you seem like you're at the place where you you might not really need to. You might be able to do this. Um, the only thing I've seen work is moment to moment practicing the skills of healthy partnership, which is each moment. What I said earlier about when you said that, I heard this. What am I missing? When you said that, I heard this. What am I missing? That truly is. I teach it so aggressively when I work with people in the repair lab because it is magical. Because if you can keep it to one moment at a time, so it's not this moment represents every moment in our past, but and but just this moment right now, when you said that, I thought it was from this motivation. I thought this is what was happening. What was it like for you? Because I'm missing something. Otherwise, we would both feel the same thing, and we do not feel the same thing. So, what am I missing? If you can both do that moment to moment, you will build the pattern you want because what that inherently does is it teaches you how she hears things and when she speaks, what she actually means. And it teaches her how she hears things. And when you speak, what does it actually mean? And you start to learn each other so, moment to moment and you create a new pattern. So
Yeah.
it's very, very simple. And that is the hardest thing about it. To let it be that simple, like just keep it to one moment at a time. And we talk about that moment. And in that moment, I'm very compassionately curious about you, and you're very compassionately curious about me. And if we can't do that, if either of us can't be compassionately curious, then we take a pause, we regulate, and we try again. Because you're not going to make a repair conversation unless you are both in the state of curiosity. If you're not, you're just going to be fighting over who's the villain in the story and who's the victim in the story, which doesn't work. That's everything I teach. I mean, what I teach day to day is this very simple. How do you enter every conversation with compassionate curiosity and really want to see and lovingly witness your partner instead of fix them or change them? Because that's our real work. I'm giving a formula to do the real work of a relationship, which is accepting the other person and accepting yourself. And radical acceptance is what changes behavior for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I feel like you asked that question to have a question, and I'm not, or like, I don't know that you really needed the answer. I don't know if that was helpful or not because I feel like you are out there doing the work. So I'm curious what you took from what I just said that might be helpful or not.
It is very helpful. I did have a question for you, Maureen, with um as far as coming to I understand the being compassionately curious, and I can see how that will adapt things in the right way.
Mhm.
Um, what about right now? Like, I have no idea how she'll respond if I were to, um, if there is something that's like, for instance, we share chores around the house. If
Mhm.
there's something that I want to bring up to her, and she on her end, if I gently bring it up and she approaches it in a negative way,
Yeah. What do you do with that?
yes, I'm a little scared about it. Still, like we're in this new sort of space, but I don't. It's yeah, I
Can
don't know what to do.
what do you say to gently bring it up?
Um, so I try to mention like, hey, hey babe, um um you had or you started some um clothes in the wash, and they need to get put in the dryer. I can't do that right now. Um, can you can you uh can you tackle that?
Okay.
Um,
And then she says,
um, a a lot of times she will deflect and say she can't do that, or she's got other priorities,
Give
And
me like this.
it's
What would you say?
like, for instance, like that's sort of a situation right now. Eh, when she gets back from, she teaches third grade, so I know she's going to be exhausted
Okay.
when she gets home. And um, I can go do it right now, but she gave me her word that she was gonna, tackle it afterwards. If I were to bring this up as a reminder,
Okay. Yeah.
I can imagine she's going to say, I can't do it right now. I'm gonna put it off into space, and like, I need to relax for a little bit, and then it
Okay.
turns into like this parental kind of
And
dynamic.
then she says, "Okay, I get it, but I can't do that right now. I really need to rest." Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Okay, well, now what?"
Yeah.
What do you say back to that? What and
Um,
right now what you do is turn into a parent and you're like, "Well, we really need this to be done." That kind of thing.
Yeah, it devolves into that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my God, Adam, yours is Adam has a phrase that he used. But here's the thing. Adam's was really good. I want you to hear it because it's nice. You said you would do this. I would love to take care of it for you, but I don't have the capacity. Could you honor your commitment? That's very nice. I that would not be mine would be a little different. Mine would be because my truth would be I might have the capacity, but I'm going to resent you. I could do this for you, but I'm going to resent you if I do this for you, and I don't want to resent you. So it would be great if you did it. And if she doesn't, then you resent her. That's the thing is you end up resent like you know what I'm saying? Like you can't control the other person's actions. So if you're asking me how do you handle it when they respond negatively and they don't do what they promised and you start to resent them, you can't control their actions. There is no way to control their actions. You can say the most beautiful, perfect thing, which Adams is great. Hey, you said you could do this. And being vulnerable and saying how it makes you feel. Like, hey, it makes me feel like you don't really care. And it makes me feel so alone. It would be so great if you did this. I know that's not what you mean to do. That's just how it ends up landing. And I don't want to end up resenting you because I do it. That's my style. That's what I would end up saying.
so
But also you can't control their actions.
so
So
if I did communicate that and then it turns into shame on her end
yeah,
and she shuts down further, how do we handle that?
it's not yours. You can't take it. What I mean is, sorry, I'm gonna eat with my mouth full. I'm gonna talk with my mouth full. Like, okay, my husband screws up. Screws up. He feels shame. And I say, "Oh, I'm not blaming you. Like, you don't have to feel guilty. I'm just wanted you to do this thing or whatever." And he still feels guilty. Then I'm like, "Okay, well, you can feel guilty. You can feel attacked. You can feel whatever. I still love you. I still think you're great. I'm not mad at you about this. If you want to beat yourself up, you can. But I am not joining you. I don't think you're a bad person for not doing your laundry. I just don't want to resent you if I do it for you."
Yeah.
And that does two things. One, it removes the attention that the subconscious is trying to get from you. But two, you're not encouraging it. And you're not stealing their process. You're not being a parent. You're not like, "I'm going to fix your feeling." You're like, "Okay, well, I can't fix this for you.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel it. You're allowed to be in pain around me." You know?
Mhm.
And if somebody's blaming you, you get to say that too. I mean, you have to be in such a strong. I get that like sometimes our brains can't do this. This is the ideal world that your nervous system is solid in that moment. But being like, "Whoa, I'm feeling defensive. Can you say that another way?" is a really nice thing to say when they lash out and attack you. It's this at the core of it all. Their feelings aren't yours to fix, manage, or control. Their actions are not yours to fix, manage, or control. It's just your job, our job, is our own feelings and lovingly expressing those. And that's all you can do. And the more that laundry stays in there, if you've been communicating every time, then that's where that conversation gets bigger and more important because you're like, okay, well, we've had this conversation so many times. It really makes me feel unheard. And that's probably not the only place that happens. And then maybe you guys don't stay together. I don't think you got to go nuclear that fast. I don't think it's going to be like, if you don't move your laundry, we're going to break up. I think it's more like, hey, I'm going to resent you if I do this for you. And I don't want to resent you. So it'd be great if you could move it. I also love the curiosity of being like, what's in the way? How do we change the system? Because if this system isn't working and we both want you, like if you know she actually does want to be the one who changes the laundry, it just doesn't happen. Like that's really common. The problem is often not they don't want to change the laundry or they don't want to do the dishes or they don't want to whatever. The system is broken. So the step before the laundry is broken. So, okay, what's getting in the way? Like getting curious about the obstacles together. What do you think is getting in the way of this happening? Like I don't want to be back to having dick talks from the beginning. I don't want to be the one who's always doing this. And I don't think you want me to be the one who's always doing this either. What's broken about the system? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And okay. Yeah, I I can understand that. I think one thing that I've been doing wrong is you're saying that I was just reflecting that I try to solve that for her sometimes because she was not communicative. And like, for instance, I'll
Mm-mm.
bring up like you know, uh, we've with our upbringings and everything, there's like this proclivity to have like a um to repeat the things that were so familiar to us.
Mm-hmm.
And in her childhood, there was a lot of disorganization, a lot of just uh, heavy upkeep, like once a month of the house rather
Yeah.
than every day. Um, so it's you know, I guess you've given me a different frame of how to communicate with her, where I'm not resolving or not trying to connect the dots for her because I think I do that and then it turns into like diagnosing and like
Yeah.
figuring out and that's
And then she'll feel analyzed and controlled.
yeah,
And you're accidentally reinforcing the trust thing.
yeah,
Being seen by you is now dangerous because you try to control me.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Thanks, Steven. It was good to
Awesome.
meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks so much, Morgan.
I hope that was helpful. I feel like it's not. I try to make it like a clear formula so you can remember it, but sometimes I don't, and I hope it's still helpful. I should have eaten a little
Alrighty.
sooner because my brain is back, baby.
We got 15 minutes, which
Okay.
probably means one more question.
Yes, and we'll keep it. I'll ask fewer follow-ups.
Our last question is from Dave.
Hmm. Hey, Dave, welcome back. Did you make some friends?
Yeah, sort of.
What do you
So
mean?
I've been reaching out. Something I explored recently as in today with Ryan. I had asked a question about empaths, and I didn't know exactly what it was. I think it was in the movie Matrix, so I just associated with, a job or a calling or something that I'm not. And I saw some videos, of course, on YouTube of that. And that's what happens. That's what happened in my marriage. I get very excited when I meet new people. I just want to help them and communicate with them, and I get all geeked up. And my wife, obviously, if it's a female, she doesn't like that. My mom has always said she's a jealous type person, which I should have known since we've been together forever. And I gotta scale it back. But it goes for men and women, and obviously men aren't a problem, but if it's a woman, that's what happened. And me and Ryan had just talked about that a little bit, and I was just trying to explore that if that could actually be, the case. Because it happened this past weekend. I went out with my sister-in-law and her guy,
Hmm.
and we just started talking. He's a nice guy, very sociable, very, he's been around. He was married for 25 years. He's not currently, and I was enjoying talking to him. I'm like, yeah, man, we gotta talk more, and we can do this, and da 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 da. And he's like, yeah, sure, and I get very excited very quickly.
Okay.
So I think that's my issue, and whether I want to scale that back or don't want to be me, because don't want to be all happy and excited about, you know, meeting people, or, whatever the case may be, or talking to people.
Yeah.
And I think my wife would prefer that,
You
because
wait, wait,
wants
wait.
me
So
self
wh-
kind of thing.
your question, your question is, should you stop being excited and happy to meet people?
I don't that like you told, my homework was to get friends and make friends and do that. And
Hmm.
I think at the time I told you that could be my problem. I wasn't sure. Like
Yeah,
I said,
like
I
creating a
talked a lot
friendship.
about it. Yeah, yeah. So I just I jump right in with both feet, and I want to help with anything, and I want to talk, and there's a new friend, and I get all, excited, and,
Yeah. What's wrong?
I
I
just
don't
think, Lenny and Carl from Of Mice and Men, I'm petting the little rabbits too hard, and, I don't know.
That's a
I
good
don't know.
analogy.
Exactly. I guess so.
I
And
don't think I don't think you being excited. I know I'm cutting you off because I'm worried about time and
are you
I don't mean to cut you off. Or I don't like that I'm cutting you off, but also I don't think that excitement is a problem. I have a lot of friends and I'm very excited and happy to meet people. I don't feel like that's a problem. I think what we were talking about before is if you feel like your worth comes from other people, they will not be able to explain it or articulate it, but the pressure of being your friend will become unbearable. And that's what pushes people away. Because even though you're the one giving everything, they feel like they have to keep up or they have to like something. They're like, oh no, you must be expecting something from me if you're giving me this much. So that's usually what pushes people away is they sense expectations from you. And if you're just genuinely excited and delighting in somebody, that's wonderful. And
well,
if you are if you're expecting things, um, you get to like negotiate that at the not negotiate, express that at the beginning of the relationship. I'm obsessed with that. Like with sharing um what you expect and what can be expected of you at the beginning is really helpful. Do you know what I mean? Like I tell all my friends not to expect me to text back because of my schedule and
uh,
my personality. And it would suck if that hurts their feelings, but also I don't want them to put themselves in a situation where I'm not going to text back and it's going to be something important because I'm not going to text back. It's going to be really rare. That's just how I work and live. Um, anyway, I'm just saying I don't think people are pushed away by excitement and happiness. I think they're pushed away by perceived expectations.
well, no, the people are cool, and the people are fine, and I seem to be generally liked and well received, and
Yeah.
the fact that all of our therapists, we've had 3 marriage therapists, and I've had 3 personal therapists, they all like me. And the fact that they didn't say I'm a horrible person for what I did immediately at our first marriage therapy session, my wife doesn't like them. It's like I'm not, they're not smacking me on the hands and saying, why did you, do
Right.
this? Why did you do that? They all love me, and she hates that.
Okay, so are you coming up here
I'm charming my way into their pants, or whatever,
okay.
and she doesn't, because they're not immediately as mad as she is.
Uh-huh.
They seem to take to me. Um, that upsets her.
Okay, so what was your question?
Just two different, I want to say, two different interpretations of what actually happened. I'm saying it's me getting super overexcited and probably pushing marriage boundaries, which I admit to, and I can want to,
Uh-oh.
versus her not wanting me to maybe do that, or her thinking, by, like I said, the people are fine. The people that I connect with are fine. The problem is my wife doesn't like that.
Are you asking me who's right?
I don't, I suppose I just wanted to know for the longest if those two things can exist. Could she think I'm the worst person in the whole world who did the worst thing ever? And
Mhm.
could I just think I messed up and just want to be forgiven? Can those two things exist together? Am I deluding myself? You know, that kind of thing.
Dave, you asked, I like the way that you asked the question, or the way that it was reframed with Emma's help. I want to move on from some bad things I did that I feel shame about. My partner sees this as me not wanting to acknowledge the horrible things I did. Can these two things coexist together?
Okay. Yeah,
Ah,
that's, you know what,
okay.
there was a couple of iterations of questions that I had gone through. I talked to Ryan about
Interesting.
one.
But here's
Um,
what, okay, wait, hold. Okay, so okay, I know I keep cutting you off. I hate that I'm doing that. This is why I say urgency is the enemy of connection, because then instead of listening. I also have heard you tell this story before, and I feel like the battle in your mind is, are you a good person or not, and are you okay or not? And if she knows you that well and hates you that much, should you also not be forgiven, or like what can you do to get her to finally forgive you or something? And that seems like what's actually happening. Am I hearing? Hello?
that
Uh-oh.
makes,
Does that feel true to what it feels like in your brain?
yeah, yeah, in a way.
No. Okay.
No, I'm always questioning myself because we're always at it.
Yeah.
So I'm always questioning, you know, every interaction with somebody.
Mm.
Um, just everything. And she's constantly questioning,
Yeah.
you
You know,
know, why I did this or why I did. We had a doctor's appointment the other day, and I talk too much. So it's my doctor's appointment. I have a not a good health thing going on. So we're
okay.
trying to talk and find out stuff and try to, you know, just learn stuff. So I just go on and on and on. I'm
Yeah.
talking to this person who I haven't seen in a while, and you know,
Yeah.
they're giving me information and I'm happy. And I got kicked a couple of times the other day. I got, you know, just kind of like, you know, a little kick, like, all right, shut it, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so that doesn't feel great, but
Yeah.
hey, what's up, man? Oh, give me. Oh, sorry about that. All right.
I can, okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So that's what and I told her in the car on the way home. I said, "So you want me to be less like me? Like you would be happier if I was less Dave?" And I've asked her at various times over the years, "Can you handle 100% Dave? Because it's a
Yeah.
lot." And you
Yeah.
know, the whole thing about wanting to feel like you're too much for somebody. And
Yeah.
that's something I went through with this person that I had this, you know,
Hate that.
emotional affair with. I have these health issues and I'm sharing them and I feel like I'm just, you know, doing too much, giving too much. They don't want to hear it. They got their own problems, you know, all of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a struggle. I don't know if I'm gonna lose myself as my therapist has told me. If I do give up this thing that I like, meeting people, talking to people, communicating, wanting to help them constantly, you know,
Yeah.
or do I let this relationship go that I've my entire life, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really, really hard.
Yeah. That's the real question.
Yeah. So that's exactly. I just wanted to know if those two things could exist. Um, the same way, basically.
I
Just
mean,
she thinks one thing, I think the other thing, and if I don't agree,
yeah.
then I'm lying and I'm not letting her heal.
Well, and it sounds like in her, then in that case, if that is a true reflection of how she's perceiving it, then in her mind, no. But that's not our business. Our business is in your mind. And the way you're describing this is that in your mind, they do both exist,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're describing it as here's how she sees it, and here's how I see it. And you're asking if they both exist, yet but the way that you're talking about it makes it seem like you do see that they both exist.
Well, I mean, bottom line, I told her I have a clear conscience. As I've said, she's accused me of doing the worst things and being the worst possible person on earth.
And that's
And
fine.
I'm not that. So I have a clear conscience about that. But it's just 2 years. We're over 2 years of fighting about this and talking
Yeah.
about this and arguing about this. And I question myself all the time. And I'm learning. I'm doing therapy and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I'm
Yeah.
learning, but I don't know everything. And I tell her that. I go, I'm trying real hard.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't want to lose myself. I know I'm not this evil person. Um, all of these things are fighting with me every day.
Yeah.
On top of my wife trying to fight with me every day.
Yeah.
So
Well, the pinnacle of emotional health, like maturity, I would define maturity as being able to hold multiple things that at the same time, pain and joy, my perspective and your perspective. Like if you can let both things exist, knowing I have no control over your view, and of course it's different than mine. And mine is this. This is how I see it. We both watched the same movie, but two different directors cut that movie. And your view was one and my view was another. Like you watched the
that's
Superman from this year and I watched the Superman from a few years ago. Like we have different views and that makes sense and they both make sense that's the way that you saw it. And also, what do I do with that information? Because if your view can't be held by the person that you're with, that's now your choice to do with what you want to do with it, which is sounds like what you're figuring out.
yeah. Well, I've said that 100 times. Can we agree to disagree? Can we have some common ground? If I'm here and you're here, let's just try to, come together on something so nobody loses. I don't want to win anything. I don't
Yeah.
want her to feel like she's losing, like she's staying in this horrible relationship with this horrible person. I want her to feel
Yeah.
like she used to feel about me, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, um, that's just where it's at right now. And she wakes up like today, she woke up just angry, raging. And she went to the bathroom. She came back. I go, come on back to bed. She's like, no, I can't. And she stopped herself. She's like, I can't. And then she brings up a point from 2 years ago when everything blew up, and she just starts talking about it and talking about it. And I'm getting ready to go to work, so I'm trying to listen and be there. And it's just, a lot of the stuff that I don't agree with, and I have to try to make space for that because I don't want a big fight. I don't want it to get loud. I don't want, this and that. So
Yeah.
that that's where we're at right now, and it's killing me.
Yeah. And now it's the decision of what is your next step on your healing journey and how long does that continue to include her? It seems like what you're saying now. Like you used to say, does that include her? And now it feels more like you're saying, how long does it, how long do I keep? including her on that journey. You have frozen. We've lost you. He's gone. He's gone. I don't think he heard me say that
Get
last
that all.
part. Oh, you
That's
can
not
hear.
fun.
We got you back. Did you hear me at all?
I heard the beginning part, and then I started talking. I guess I wasn't. Sorry about that.
You froze for a sec. It
Oh, did I?
just we've gotten to talk to you multiple times and it feels like every time I talk to you it becomes less. Um you seem like this time more than any other, you seem to be saying, how long do I continue in this with her versus do I continue in this with her? That sounds different today.
You know what? It is a bit different because I think she may have realized this or that as I'm not the one. I hurt her so bad, and she's helping me out because she loves me. And she didn't do anything. She's the saint, and she loves me so much. And I have these health problems that she's helping me with, and she's awesome. And she was before, and she still is. And that makes me feel a way too, because now it's like you're just hanging around because of that, you know? It's like, I appreciate it. I don't want you to be stuck here with this person who's the worst person ever.
Yeah.
If you want to go and live your life and be single, if you want to go with your family, then you can do that. That's how I feel. And it'll crush me. But I can't do it where she's doing that and she's, living that life or whatever, or single life or whatever, and here with me. I couldn't take that.
Yeah.
So it would have to be she goes her way, I go my way.
Yeah. And you can't keep feeling like the villain every day of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody, I'm trying to find somebody who doesn't say, you know what, leave her alone, give her some space, let her go down to see her family and just see what happens. Because I don't want to do that. Because then she won't be with me. But that's I've talked to my cousin, I talked to my brother-in-law, I talked to another a friend, I talked to my Signal mental health people that we're like best buddies. I have Cigna insurance and they have a free service where you can call and I just talk their ears off. So that's cool for everybody. If you need that, that's really awesome resource. And everybody says the same thing. And I guess I'm just looking for somebody to say to keep sticking it out, or because it's rough. It's rough.
Hmm.
And, I know I'm not that monster that she's created. I know I'm not that, but she's crushed and heartbroken, and she thinks it. So that's it. Perception is reality.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm. Well, you said everyone is telling you to let her go, and you
Just
want
to
some,
yeah,
and you,
because I have a very I have a not great health diagnosis. So everybody's like, you don't need to stress, take care of your health, take care of yourself, because this is
yeah,
mostly, and it's gonna sound crazy when I say it, and I don't know if I've said it in here before. This is mostly put my health issue on the back burner. Like literally, I'm dealing with her and this whole thing that she's
yeah,
upset and she's angry and raging every day, and my health has been on the back burner. And I've been mostly been able to keep it at bay with, things I'm doing. And it's just, time is running out on that again. And I'm sure everybody, who probably, thinks, hey, dude, what are you doing? You need to take care of your health.
yeah,
And if you got to let her go for a little while, or, whatever, figure it out. And countless, I've seen 50 doctors and they're all, stress, no stress, less stress,
yeah.
stuff like, which is,
But
easier said.
we don't do. You're not doing. This is why advice is so rarely helpful because you're not doing what you're doing and making the choice that you're making because you rationally think it's the best, healthiest choice. There, the alternative to this choice is worse for you. It's scarier for you.
Yes.
And so somebody telling you to let go is just a black void. You're like, and then what? Or maybe it's not black void. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not this. There to get real with I think your next, what it sounds like your next question to answer is what are you afraid will happen to you if you did do that? If everyone's telling you to let go, what are you afraid will happen to you if you did do that? And I can't hear your answer because we are at the end of, we've beyond time and we have a meeting at shortly. So I
Okay.
want to give you that question to take with you and process. And I can tell you're a verbal processor. So I would love for you to verbally process it with somebody.
Okay.
Um, and we can't,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's a whopper too. I'm not going to give it to you now. It's a whopper of an answer, so it would take some time. So I appreciate you telling me that.
Yeah.
An answer, and it's not great, and it's very complicated. So I got you.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you, though,
Yeah. And then working with that is the thing. Thank you, Dave. It
for
was so
sure.
good to see
Thank you,
you.
Morgan. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Go, Dave. People saying the shit, Kurt. Okay. We have gone over time and we do have a meeting. So I want to say thank you to all of you for coming and asking your questions and sharing your hearts with us and in the chat. I know we didn't get to we don't I mean, obviously, we don't get to everybody's questions, but we do have we have a vision for this. So the reason we do this and the reason we do what I'm about to tell you about our Facebook group is very similar. The entire underlying mission of everything we do in this business is to spread connection and to fight isolation. And that has always been a passion of mine. It is a bigger passion than ever because I feel like we're kind of being, God, this is a really intense thing to say. I feel like we're being weaponized against each other by keeping us isolated and by saying if you're this or you're that, then we're enemies. And I am really scared about what that's doing to our world. And I don't think it's helpful and I don't think it's true. So we're creating spaces like this one where we want to welcome everyone, no matter what, whatever factor, because we have to, yes, Lindsay, exactly. We have to see each other and see the humanity in each other. And so we are fighting isolation. We're fighting emotional isolation, that loneliness, that deep loneliness you feel when you're with people, but they just don't get you. We're really fighting that. And we're fighting for connection, like real connection, real emotional connection where you feel seen and heard. And so we have a Facebook group that feels like that. And we work really hard to make it feel like that, where it doesn't matter what we talk about, it matters how we talk about it. And when you post in there, whether it's making pizzas, hey, Adam, or or whatever your thing is, that your response, the response you get is somebody seeing you and we are all in there to like really connect, actually connect. And that's what we do here too. That's what you guys do so well in the chat and in the Zoom when you have your cameras on and how attentively and beautifully you listen and smile and encourage each other. So yeah, we love these spaces. Thank you for helping us make them
You can join our
beautiful.
Facebook by
Yeah.
going to scenemethod.com/community.
I forgot to add the how to get there. So yes. And we don't accept everybody. You actually have to answer the questions because we want to keep it a safe space. So when I say we don't accept everybody, I don't mean we exclude certain groups of people. We mean if you didn't respond, we're like either you're a bot or you don't care enough to be in this community. And we really care about everyone feeling safe in this community. So if you want to join, scenemethod.com/community. Okay. Bye guys.